What do you want from me? What do you want from me? I'm only human. These are extraordinary in like the creepiest way imaginable. I usually don't like to do the same type of content back to back, and yesterday I covered some text messages as well, but I can't resist the urge. It calls out to me, the void beckons, and I have to speak on these. So, the context. A lady had an old coworker whom had been fundamentally stalking her for quite some time. Her and her husband had dealt with this individual for a while, and decided to share some of the unhinged messages that they had been sent by him. There was a lot more that happened besides these text messages, but that's what was shared and what I want to go over. Buckle your seatbelt here, because this is about to be a pretty intense ride. This is a good read from cover to cover, if you like lunacy. Hey, I hope your weekend has started nicely. I apologize it took me a few days to feel like I could say this. No need to apologize, goober. I get it, had to muster up the courage here, hype yourself up in the mirror so that you could really let the demon out. You need to break up with blank, and then agree to be my girlfriend, with intentions to be my wife. And let me explain why. So he's basically acting like a car salesman here, trying to drive the hard bargain. It's like an episode of Shark Tank. I'm seeking a wife for 10% equity in my cock. I have no doubt he also had a PowerPoint presentation prepared for this, but unfortunately maybe it didn't attach, so it didn't send. I can provide more for you than he can. The independent woman facade you engage in wouldn't be necessary with me. I make more than enough money in my job in order to take care of you and provide you with a lakefront house, which I know is a desire of yours. I can provide you the free time that you often post about and yearn for to engage in your favorite hobby, ceramics. All I ask for you is your devotion in return. I know I am perhaps not physically desirable to you, which is why I plan to compensate with the lifestyle you often talk about wanting to provide yourself. You can really feel the fedora through these messages. It smells of such potent desperation. It's also very interesting that he calls attention to not being physically desirable to her. It's an interesting negotiation tactic. Excuse me, madam. I know you may not be physically attracted to me, but here's how I can make up for my face looking like turbo ass. I know if you could be given an opportunity, you would take it because you mostly desire to be able to experience freedom in life. It is something painful for me knowing you could have everything you wanted if you would simply agree to be my wife in the future. I could also pay off your student loans and car loan, which I know you've expressed desire to have those completed in the next 6 years. I could do that today, with a simple call to your loan companies. All I need from you is to immediately move to my property and begin your new life with me. Jesus Christ, that is concerning. I can pay off all of this. Just come join my cult. And I promise I am not a rapist or a creep. Nothing screams good guy quite like needing to clarify that you are neither a rapist nor a creep. I mean, would he lie to you, right? I mean, that's what a normal person says, like, by the way, miss, I am neither rapist nor creep, so you should feel safe around me. Now come live on my property immediately. I am not going to imprison you, or shackle you, or enslave you to a basement. Well, breath of fresh air. I was a little concerned about that, but now, luckily, he explained it. Now there's no reason to feel alarmed anymore about that being a possibility. You are free to continue your friendships with your womanly friends and your relationships with your family. I would never take this from you. I would never force you into sexual situations you do not want to be in. I know it must sound so strange hearing this, but I feel I must make it clear to you that this is a dream opportunity that will not harm you in any capacity other than dropping your current life, boyfriend, and job, and immediately begin pursuing your hobbies while we plan our wedding. I've got a sneaking suspicion that this guy would absolutely shackle her and imprison her in the basement, but I imagine she wouldn't be alone down there. There's probably quite a few other victims that he has in that basement. This is a fucking unhinged creep. Now, it's important to mention that this isn't just some random person sending a bunch of nonsense. This is a very credible threat to the safety of this woman. So, according to the husband, they had been dealing with this individual for quite some time, and they even went to court over it. There's a lot that this individual has done, aside from just these creepy messages, and it had been a huge problem for them for a while. This is a really dangerous person to be around. I hope you're not overwhelmed. I know we have not spoken very much in the last 6 years we've known each other. I've always known you were supposed to be mine as soon as I met you on March 3rd, 2018. He's got that shit marked in his calendar as the most important day of his life. I've never once inserted myself into your life. I haven't pestered you for your phone number, and we have an occasional chat on Facebook now that we're not in the same office anymore. I've been satisfied with this level of acquaintanceships for years, and I understand that you have been with blank since 2012. I understand you were committed to him prior to us meeting, but blank, you must agree that we have something special. We share so many interests, and we were always able to have great natural conservation. When we would attend lunch together during the workday, it was an effortless and relaxing experience to share those 40 minutes with you once or twice a week. And don't think I forgot how often you paid for yourself, a trait I knew was you trying to assert your independence in front of me. Oh, the delusion. Oh, the delusion is sickening. That's an example of something I've talked about quite a bit on stream, where no matter what, there are people that will view things in an entirely different lens that make no sense. Something as simple as her buying lunch for herself was interpreted, misconstrued by this fucking menace as her trying to assert her independence in front of him. So it's just like this honestly scary situation where something totally innocent, like just buying yourself lunch, has now completely been lost in the sauce of this dude's noodle, where he thinks it was all about him. It's so weird. I knew then you were trying to show me that you'd love for someone to take care of you. I'm ready to settle into a family-oriented life, and I recall you saying you would have children if you had the financial capital to do so. I know you desire to be a mother, despite your current male partner not wanting them. You would make a wonderful mother to our children. I would ensure you had everything you needed to live the family life of your dream. Wow, I just had a voice crack. That was a big voice crack, too. This man's serial killer stalker Riz just attacked my vocal folds. And I know you love to travel. Before we settle down with children, I want to take you to your dream destination list. I've kept track of all the places you've mentioned over the last few years that you'd like to visit. You always share such a beautiful landscape photos. He's like the Zodiac killer here. I bet if this wasn't over Facebook Messenger or whatever, it would have been sent via postage, letters in the mail, using cutouts from magazines for the letters. I want to take you to Japan, to Thailand, to New Zealand, to Greece. Yah! It's like that classic one. Oregon. Yah! Fucking the Dean scream. And after that, we'll go to the opal mines in Australia for your dream ring, and then I'll take you to all the waterfalls the islands have to offer. How does this sound? My proposition is serious. You know I am a serious man. I'm turning 45 years old this year, and you are turning 32 years old. It's time to start making decisions about our familial life and how to enjoy our remaining years. Please know I have never offered any woman this proposition. I have a very secure career that I enjoy and will do whatever it takes to maintain in order to have your companionship, sexual prowess, and motherly raising of our children. I will give you everything you desire, as long as you agree to be my wife and raise our children. A very strong negotiation overall. I wonder how she'll respond to this in the Shark Tank. Hey, blank, I wanted to acknowledge that I received your message. It's really long though, so give me a minute to read and respond. That feels more like she's very afraid and is doing this out of pure obligation, like buying time, to figure out how to handle this without setting this guy off on like some kind of rampage, like this violent outburst, which is smart on her part for sure, to like very gently navigate this, because it's a scary situation having a stalker like this. Good morning. I am still awaiting your acceptance of my proposal. I look forward to hearing from you. Oh god, he's dropping the hammer now. It's all business, and he's not taking no for an answer. Good morning, goofball. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't know how to respond to this. I don't mean this negatively, but I honestly don't know whether or not to take this seriously. What I mean by that is, I don't know if this is a joke or not. You said this is quite out of left field, so I'm not exactly sure how to respond to you. This proposition is very serious. I have to make serious considerations about my familial life as I'm ready to establish this. I know I can offer you much more than your boyfriend can. It has been 10 years, and he still has not provided you with those things you desire most. I am a better provider than he is, and I will ensure your needs are met. Please, I would appreciate you taking this seriously and giving me a date and time I can come collect your items and move you into my house. It's in northern blank. This guy is already convinced that it's a yes, and now he's just trying to figure out when he should schedule the college hunks hauling junks to come collect all of her shit to move in with him. So now she fully responds to this. Surely you have to understand I can't agree to something like this. My life is my life because I've built it this way. I am not a damsel waiting to be rescued. While yes, I would enjoy an easier path to achieving the lifestyle I want, I don't mind working for it, and frankly, I'm insulted that you perceive my career to be a choice I'm settled to because I have not found the right man. Most importantly, it's another level of egotistical to assume I would dump an 11-year relationship in an instant for a fantasy pipe dream of yours. I mean this seriously. I'm not interested in your proposition. Trading my life for materialistic items and to be breed mare is not something I ever intended to do with my time. I don't know you. You don't know me. You have a limited glimpse into my life through my social media posts. What you see online represents a fraction of who I am as a person. We were co-workers and nothing more. I made this very clear to you in the years we worked together. I was in my relationship prior to even working with you. Yes, you're right, you never crossed that boundary, but instead you spent the last 6 years building a fantasy and dream life in your mind in which you think I would trade my value as a human being for a lake house and free time for pottery. I'm not sure how you became convinced this would be enough to make me leave the life I have built, but I need to assure you it's not. Please do not ask me this again. I am not interested, nor will I ever be interested in being your wife and child bearer. So she lets it all hang out here. She pulls no punches. She sets the record straight and says it right to his face. Well, as close to his face as anyone will ever come through text messages here. Breedmare. Now, there's no need to insult me. I am not propositioning you to live in solitude and to raise children alone. I want a family. I want you to be my wife, specifically, and I want to build a family with you. I thought you were intelligent enough to understand how great of an offer this is. Buddy, she is intelligent enough to recognize that her life would be in danger saying yes to you, you absolute maniac. You fucking weirdo. She is extremely smart to say no to this, as pretty much everyone on the planet with any level of survival instincts would. You're weird, you're dangerous, you're creepy, you're a stalker. Everyone's going to be saying no to you. I know you're primarily saying no because you don't find me physically attractive. If I looked better than your boyfriend, I have no doubts you would emphatically tell me yes. I didn't know you were so shallow. Oh, now he's going full nice guy mask off mode, even though he wasn't really putting up a nice guy persona in the first place. You would learn to be physically attracted to me just as I learned to be physically attracted to you after you gained 60 pounds. You look much better when you are staying in the 150 to 200 pound range, yet I never said a word to you about the fact that you gained so much weight because I realized you were perfect otherwise. I realized your looks didn't matter when your soul is what I wanted to spend time with. He probably wants to suck her soul out of her body like Shang Tsung. Like, this is a threat to her life, and she is absolutely making the right call, trying her best to get away from this guy and shut it down as hard as possible. It is simply a trade for a house and free time. Oh, the barter method, of course. I am offering you the very thing you constantly talked about and post about, the freedom to enjoy your existence without stress and anxiety. There would be more stress and anxiety with you because you are actually dangerous. It'd be a constant, guessing game of whether or not she's going to survive through the night under your roof. This guy is fucking scary. And he makes it seem like so simple. Simply in return, we are married and have a family together. Yeah, I mean, that's small potatoes. That's nothing. That's no big deal. It's a great trade. You get a house and you get the weirdest man in the world. A win-win. You would learn to love it because our home together would be so peaceful and joyful. However, perhaps you're right, and you are not the woman I thought you were. You're attracted to a low-life loser who filed bankruptcy at 25, hid his credit card debt from you. You pay his bills while he job hops because he doesn't know how to stay at a job for longer than a year. You cried constantly at work and had panic attacks not knowing where the money was going to come from. And what did you do? You worked a second and third job to make ends meet while he piddled away at putting in applications and not manning up to do what he needed to do. Why are you choosing this weak boy over me? I am mature, career-oriented, family-oriented, and I am a devoted partner. I would never force you into a position to make up for my shortcomings like your boyfriend does. I am better than him in every way, and yet you still choose him. It is baffling to me why young women like yourself want to be with the losers and drug dealers who will end up beating you silly. Keep in mind, this is coming from the same worm, the same specimen, who had to assure her he's not a rapist and wouldn't imprison her and shackle her. I think this guy is the one that most likely would beat a woman silly, because he has all of the red flags you could possibly fucking imagine about a man. I'm going to fast forward through the second paragraph meltdown here, which is just a teary-eyed tantrum with him shaking his fist saying, I thought you were different. You must stay with him for his penis size, because I can't even begin to understand how someone as intelligent as you are would turn down my offer. A luxury life free of stress turned down for a life of second guessing and financial strain? Why? What good reason do you have to turn down my offer? He immediately goes to wiener size. just another huge insecurity here. So I'm guessing not only is he physically appalling, but he also has a tiny cock. She says, I'm not even going to entertain that message with a response. I don't owe you any explanation about why I'm still with my boyfriend even after all his shortcomings. I don't owe you an explanation on anything, ever. I've been wondering all evening what it could possibly be about me that you're so repulsed by that you won't accept the offer of a lifetime. Yeah, it's such a mystery. What about this perfect gentleman here and scholar would she find repulsive? I'm racking my brain and I got nothing. I have no idea. What could she possibly not like about him? He's such a doll. My friends are also appalled. Why aren't you accepting this? Yeah, I'm sure he has so many friends. He contacts all his friends. He's like, guys, she won't just give up her life and move in with me. What's wrong with this bitch, huh? What's going on? Is she crazy? She's crazy, right? It's not me. I'm not the problem, right? I didn't think so. It's definitely her. It's everything you have ever wanted, and you're turning it down still? Why? You owe me an explanation after I spent years ensuring I had enough to offer you. That's really scary. If this guy's whole motivation for, like, working hard, grinding, and, you know, getting money is just to try and act on this fantasy delusion with a stranger, that's unhinged. Well, all of this is unhinged, but that one's even wilder because, again, they're not close to each other. They're still pretty much strangers. I'm starting to get very upset by your actions. You have one more chance. Anything less than an emphatic yes will not be accepted. So he tries to, like, bring it down, an ultimatum. Last chance. This is the last ball game pitch here. It's got to be a home run yes, or I'm out. I'm sure this will come as a huge surprise to all of you watching this, but she still said no. In the most polite way possible, fuck off. I don't owe you shit. I'll be blocking you now. Have a great rest of your life. I waited all day to see if your little conniption would resolve and you'd come back begging me for this opportunity. But I see you've decided to block me on Facebook, but too stupid to also block me on Messenger. At least for now. He's now fully in his villain arc. He put on a trench coat, sunglasses, and he's doing this while typing. I see you've blocked me on Facebook, but not Messenger. For now. I cannot believe I allowed myself to become entangled in the idea that a beastly fat woman such as yourself would actually choose to settle down with me. I can do so much better than you, and yet here I was offering you a way out of your wretched life. We both know you're settling with blank because you're too lazy to lose weight and make yourself more attractive, and you've trained him to be okay with your fat. I was willing to let your fatness go to the side because I knew if you had free time, you'd lose the weight and retain a more attractive figure for our relationship. I'm embarrassed I've spent so much time preparing for this moment and was wasted on a fat whore who doesn't know when she has struck gold. I truly thought you were different, that you actually wanted a nice man to be with. I see I was dead wrong. And she says, you can literally suck the juices out of my fat blank and choke on them, you absolute troglodyte. So at least there's a happy ending here. It ended on a positive note for both parties involved. So this guy did end up doing the quintessential nice guy sign-off, that standard song and dance of, you know what, I'm better than you. I should have never wasted my time with you because you're fat, and you're a whore, and you're chunky, you're chubby, and I hate you. You're tacky, and I hate you. You're fat, and I'm a nice guy, the nicest guy you'll ever meet. You blew it. You blew it. It's on you, and you should feel bad. I'm not crying, you're crying. That's where the text message journey comes to a conclusion. Like I said, there was a lot more outside of text that he did, but I only wanted to focus on the texts. Hopefully they don't have to deal with this individual anymore going forward, and I've never had an experience where I read something so cringe that it made my tummy upset. One of these two things is about to change today, and I don't think it's the threesome. I just read something from, yet again, my deep diving onto the horrors of modern dating with absolute deranged weirdos. And the whole interaction was so mind-bogglingly peculiar that my body couldn't help but suffer from a physical reaction after finishing this adventure here. I don't know where these men are coming from. These dudes are just being printed in the cringe factory and being thrown into the dating world as like the worst NPC encounters you could ever have. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive in. But before doing that, just a quick heads up. The Moist Global Retro Basketball line is still available right now. This is the best assortment of merch the internet's ever seen, so you can go to moistglobal.com right now and pick something up. Links in the description. I just read some of the backstory she was posting about this situation in the comments, and it's actually pretty sad. Apparently these two had been dating for about 3 years. It was a horrible situation all around, and a couple months ago she left and took the kids, but this is the most recent interaction between the two of them. She 100% made the right move in leaving. This guy seems like a fucking menace. But anyway, it begins innocently enough. That's good, just working away with 3 exclamation points, so he's having a jolly old day at work. Did you get to the doctors yet? She says, yeah, I have COVID. What did he say it give you? What? What did the doctor say or give you to feel better? Take Advil, Tylenol, sleep as much as you can, and quarantine. This is so timely because I myself just finished going through COVID over the last 11 or so days. And this is the 3rd time it's fisted me. It has gone elbow deep in my ass 3 times, and all 3 times that is the exact same advice I was given by doctors. Now, of course, you can still ask for like a Paxlovid prescription if you want. It should help with like symptoms, but it's not usually the first thing they give you unless you're someone who is at risk for like complications, I think. It is an option, but typically they'll just tell you that, you know, take Tylenol, sleep it off, rest, fluids, simple stuff like that. So it seems innocent enough here, and the guy she's communicating with almost seems jovial. You know, like when he says, just working away, I can already see him typing that and going, just working away. You know, one of these with a big old smile on his face, ear to ear. He seems like a happy-go-lucky kind of guy. And then it all falls apart. This feels like a real Jekyll and Hyde situation. He immediately just doubts her, doesn't trust her, accuses her of lying. Lol, so you didn't go to the doctors. Before this turns into a fight, just tell the fucking truth, lol. She says, I did. There's no meds for this. Yes, there is. Go to the doctors, lol. I need the address and the name of the clinic that told you there's no medicine. Also, the name do the doctors. They will be losing their license. So he's fucking spiraling immediately here. And I feel like this isn't exclusive to just him. I feel like a lot of men these days assume that every girl they interact with, even their significant other they've been with for 3 goddamn years, is some kind of lying, cheating harpy or something. So they're constantly interrogating because they don't believe anything they say. I feel like there's just so many dudes out there with this, like, insecurity within them where they doubt everything their partner says, believing that they're cheating in some way, and they're lying about something, hiding something, and it's fucking awful. So this guy's trying to checkmate her here with the scholar's mate, like, okay, then give me the name and the address, cause I'm going to call them to double check, cause I don't believe you, madame. She then says, stop being so fucking melodramatic, I seriously don't need this shit right now, there isn't anything they can give me, I'll be fine once it works its way through my system. He just continues to press, please, name of the doctors, location you want to, please. I know you sick. That's why I'm jandling this for you, and just need to know which doctor you went to. I can handle this properly. This guy has so much steam coming out of his ears, it's clouding his eyes. He can't even fucking type properly. He's typing like a caveman. He's going full Neanderthal mode here. Like, what in the world is happening in his noodle? He's gonna start jandling this? That reminds me of jelking. Like, that was an old thing on the internet where you're supposed to, like, masturbate in a certain way to elongate your wiener. Jandling feels like it's some kind of, like, sub-discipline of jelking. But anyway, she says, I don't need you to scream at the receptionist for no reason at all. Stop being ridiculous. I won't scream at anyone, just tell me the information. Skit K can handle this, please. If you don't provide it to me, it's because you're lying and didn't go to the doctors. There's nothing to handle. So just tell me the name of the doctor you saw. This douchebag is making so many typos, it looks like he's trying to transcribe the Scatman. I can jandle. It's like ridiculous how crazy he's going because he's so angry. I don't know why he'd even think she's lying about this. He admits that he knows she is sick. So why would she lie about going to the doctor? Well, like, what the fuck thought process is that? I know my girlfriend is sick, but it's probably dick sickness. She's probably hungry for cock and it's causing her physical pain. That's probably what it is. She didn't go to the doctor. She went to a penis appointment. That's what it is, and she's lying to me about it. I knew it! It continues to just get out of control. She says, lol, I shouldn't have to prove to you anything. I'm sick, I have COVID. She's absolutely right. She doesn't have to prove anything here. She doesn't need to try and, like, defeat his delusions. That's not her responsibility here. She's done nothing wrong. And he just continues, "You're not proving anything to me, lol. There is medication for this. I know for a fact, as I know someone else who had COVID last week. There isn't, unless you're old as fuck or have an autoimmune disease or your lungs are shit. Otherwise, you just carry through like normal fucking virus. Yes, there is. Let me call the do it. And I will get you proof. Where did you go, baby?" That comes out of nowhere. After all of this, he hits her with a "where did you go, baby?" I can already just tell from reading this shit, this guy is extraordinarily manipulative and a completely insufferable person to be around. But anyway, she goes, "I went to a walk-in, and frankly, I'm not going to allow you to cause a muck over nothing. I'm going back to bed." "What walk-in clinic? If you don't tell me, I'm don't with you. Because I'm not a ducking idiot, and I know you're lying, haha. You have 3 minutes to get me the address of the walk-in clinic or else." So now man's out here setting a time limit. He's dropping the ultimatum. "You give me the name, and I will hunt them down." Out here like Liam Neeson, about to track them down with his particular set of cringe skills. I guess his thought process was he just wants to confirm that she actually went to the doctor, because for some reason he doesn't trust her even slightly, even though they've been together for 3 years. I also imagine if he did call them, he'd start yelling and screaming and causing a big hoopla, because he seems like that kind of unhinged, deranged lunatic that would do shit like that. But anyway, the 3 minutes to get me the address of the walk-in clinic or else, that's it. Buy more chances for you. She says, "Fine, be done with me because I don't want you yelling at someone for no fucking reason." He says, "No one's going to get yelled at. You're just nothing but a liar and KM Jot a fucking idiot. I wouldn't have even called them, but everything you say is a lie, and you think I'm an idiot, and you can fool me. Anyway, joke's on you. Enjoy. Hope it was worth it, kid." His use of exclamation points and emojis is absolutely infuriating, but even more so than that, the cherry on top of the shit cake is him saying, "Hope it was worth it, kid." He's speaking like he's back on Xbox Live in a Call of Duty lobby. What? Hope it was worth it, kid? Oh, God, sickening. But clearly the reason he's using the emojis and the exclamation points is he's trying to put on this strong, masculine front that none of this bothers him. This is the biggest mistake of your life. You're going to regret this. But me, I'm laughing. I'm having fun with this. This means nothing to me. So much so that I'll drop a laughing, crying emoji and 5 exclamation points. Haha, not hurting me. She then says, "Lol, joke's on me because I'm sick. Great joke. Love that for myself. Love that I feel like I'm being dragged through the mud, fire, literally feel the worst ever. Great support, thanks. Joke's on you because you lost the best man of your life because you'd rather lie than tell the truth. Leave me alone." What the fuck? Oh my God. It's just so painful reading this. It's so fucking sad reading this, knowing that not only have they been together for 3 years, but I guess also have kids. Like, and speaking of the kids, his final message to her is this. "You got it, Buster. Have fun being a homeless narcissist liar that no one loves, not even their children." He just dropped a cold Buster here at the end, and then told her that she is a homeless narcissist that not even her children love. What kind of delusional, evil shit is this? He's calling someone a narcissist. That's unbelievable. Pfft. And then to say that not even their children love her? What? I don't know how you go from like, "Oh, where'd you go, baby?" You know, like, obviously, like, in love kind of thing, to immediately, like, "No one loves you, everyone hates you, I'm the best man that has ever existed in this entire fucking history of our species, and you just blew it with me. This is your fault. You're unlovable. You're a liar. Your children don't love you. You're a narcissist." Like, it's just crazy how quickly someone can become this. It's so fucking sad. She definitely made the right call leaving this guy. I'm, of course, no, relationship counselor or guru or anything, but very clearly, this is an unhealthy person to be around. This guy super sucks. This guy is a turbo fucking loser. And according to her comments, this was only like the tip of the iceberg. She actually called this interaction mild. So I can only imagine how awful of a person this piece of shit is. She definitely made the right call. And to think all of this happened because she got COVID and went to the doctor, and that was enough to set this guy off. That's terrible. That's horrible. But yeah, like I said, I have been deep on like the modern dating scene, you know, travesty, seeing like what all's been going on and being posted by people online. I just find it all so interesting. So I can't help but talk about some of these that really get crazy. So yeah, back and got deep in thought and realized just how incredible it is that we as humans are able to speak to each other, language, and how mind-blowing that concept is. Communication is a blessing. But today I almost feel like it's a curse. I just read legitimately the worst thing ever, and it makes me regret that our ancestors at one point when they were still cavemen started grunting at each other to communicate, and then it eventually led to this existing. Oh my god, I saw this today, and it made me ill. And I thought, if I had to bear this burden knowing that this exists, you're gonna have to share in the load with me, so let's go on a little adventure here. It's from Tinder. Let me introduce you to the boy wonder Chris here. So, these two individuals matched, and Chris was making the first move here, shooting his shot. I better be your top priority, with a little winky face emoji. I don't know if that's the strongest opener. I haven't been on dating apps in many moons now, but that seems a bit weak, but hey, his heart's in the game. She responds to that in a pretty playful way, I think is what she was going for. So she says, let me know if you want to go out tomorrow so I can cancel my daughter's parent-teacher conference. To which our Casanova here says, such a good girl you are. I'm free tomorrow. It's already getting so yucky. Such a good girl you are. He's speaking to her like it's a dog or something, like he's about to offer her a treat. And then she says, I'm not, with a laughing crying emoji, to which he wants some clarity. You're not a good girl, or you're not free. And she clears up the confusion. She says, not free. I have to go to a parent-teacher conference. Already, this whole exchange is going cattywampus. The wheels are falling off pretty quickly. And somehow it just continues to go further downhill. A goddamn avalanche of cringe. So he goes, damn, I actually thought you'd be fucking bad AF and cancel. Ha ha. And she says, I'm alarmed that you would want to go out with someone who would do that. And he goes, ha ha, I mean, in the back of my head, I was hoping it was a joke, that you didn't actually have one. To which she says, unfortunately, I do. And then he goes, all good, you're doing well, giving me attention right now. And then she says, I can meet up for a drink if you want since you live close. I have my kids this week, but they're older, so it's not like I can't go out. I have them every other week. Where do you live? His response here is really confusing. What does that mean? All good, you're doing well, giving me attention right now. What's happening? Is she like scratching under his chin? Like, I don't get it. What is he referring to? They're just talking on Tinder, and why is she? So you're gonna start to notice that as this exchange continues to unfold here, it feels as though they're having two different conversations. Like, it's super all over the place. Like, the dots don't connect at all. Like, they're in two different dialogue trees, and it's not matching up. Now, our boy Chris, the protagonist, is a lot of things, but a coward he is not. He tries to employ the most delusional strategy you could ever envision. This is not something you'd ever find in John Madden's playbook, I'll say it like that. So, after he asks which part of downtown she's in, she replies, not saying. He then tries to, like, assure her that he's not gonna, like, go out of his way to find her. He's not, like, a stalker. He's not weird or creepy. He says, I'm not gonna go find you, lol. And then he says, I just got done with the gym, now doing post-workout naked stretching. Chris, are you okay? Post-workout naked stretching. You're off your gourd. Brother, you lost your marbles. What is a post-workout naked stretch? Are you telling me this guy's at Planet Fitness right now in the locker room fucking goatseeing himself in order to get like reps in at the end? Like, that's how he cools down? What is a post-workout naked stretch? I've never heard of that before. This is him trying to be, like, hot about things, I think. Like, ooh, this is gonna get her wet. I was at the gym, pumping iron, praying at the iron temple, way min, babe. And then I finished. Biggest pump of my life. So obviously I took my pants off, put both legs over my head, and hung a 5-pound kettlebell from my erect wiener. Hold for 30 seconds for 3 sets. It's the only way to conclude a good workout. Like, what the fuck is even happening? I don't know why he thought this was a good idea. Like, unless he's like an OnlyFans creator or something, and this is just content that he films, like the, you know, naked yoga that you see on YouTube or something. It's just, it is a wild attempt here at, like, flirting or trying to be, like, sexy on Tinder or something. It it is bold. It is brutally cringe. She then responds by saying, if you were driving by, you might peep in the window. Haha. Sounds uncomfortable. Referring to the stretching, I think. To which he just says, I mean, of course. Now here's where things get even more fucking confusing here. The conversation really does feel like some kind of malfunctioning quest line in an MMO where like the dialogue is just incorrect. Like the characters are glitching out. So he says to the stretch, asking about like what sounds uncomfortable. And then she says, no, for work. My stylist feeds me champagne. I don't know, maybe I'm the problem. What is she talking about? Like, how does that fit into anything that's happened here with this absolute disaster that Chris is trying? I don't understand. Maybe she's just trying to change the subject. I'm really not sure. And then he goes, was a bartender, now I'm just a content creator and gonna start day trading. Oh, so you're a little horny. What is happening? So I think my initial theory might be the right one. He might be like an OnlyFans creator, so the naked stretching he puts on the premium subscription tiers or something. But those days are going to be short-lived because he's going right to day trading. He's going to the tippy top of the food chain. He's watched a few TikTok financial gurus and he's got it figured out now. I also don't know why he says, so you're a little horny? Like, where is he even finding that? There's no hint of horniness anywhere in here. And then she goes, oh God, what a nightmare you are. Got some crypto, do you? So the red flags are abundant here. She's starting to notice there's some holes in this ship, and it is sinking. This is fucking going disastrous, catastrophic. And he goes, ew, no, I'm not a corporate bro. I'm a film person. I mean, okay. To which she also just says, okay. And he goes, good girl. What in tarnation is happening? It's like, this is like when you used to try to talk to Cleverbot back in like 2010. It's nonsensical. Chris's mind is an enigma. It is a confusing, perplexing hellscape of ideas, and communication is not. It's frying my brain just trying to process it. His inability to communicate effectively is impressive. It's alarming. Next he says, I just want to get away from bartending before I hit someone, lol, to which he says, yeah, nobody wants to hit content creators and day traders, obviously making a joke about it. He then goes, nah, or tap. But at least I'm tall and handsome, one saving grace. So he's trying to hype himself up, give himself some gas here, which falls extremely flat. The tank is run empty. She just goes, if you say so. And then he tries to save it by saying, a focus group told me, wasn't my say. His attempt at being playful, like, oh, I would never say this about myself. It's what everybody else says. I'm tired of hearing it actually about how fucking tall and handsome I am. And then she says, I like short guys. He goes, how short? And she says 5'7" to 5'10". And this is where it got personal for me. A dagger to my heart. She likes short guys and then lists guys taller than me. So I am freakishly short in her eyes. That's fucked up. 5'6" is fine. 5'6" is a beautiful, perfect height. Damn it. His response to all this is another head scratcher. He goes, well, I'm too tall to ride you then, even though I prefer shorter women. She says, well, I'm sure I'm too non-gym oriented for you. He says, you look like a gym exercise, to be honest. But yeah, you look like a good barbell curl. You look like a lat pull-down machine, babe. Yeah, fuck yeah. Nailed that. A wonderful line from him, really. I walk my dog slowly around the block twice a day. He says, I'll be the dog. This guy is so horny. This guy is criminally horny. Like, his arousal should be studied because it is on a whole different level, a whole different dimension. Everything he is reading is making him hornier, and he's saying goofier and creepier things each and every time. She goes, no offense, but you might be the fuckboyest fuckboy I've ever talked to on Tinder. And he goes, damn, you must not get many guys on here then. You could get 1 million guys, and I still think this guy would be up there in like the top 0.001% of outrageously horny weirdos. This is impressive. She says he's her first match in a year and a half, and he says, because this is light news compared to the shit I've heard, talking about like war stories, you know, about to have a PTSD episode about the shit he's read on here. And then he says, doesn't help, I'm naked with a heart on. And then her response is, I don't feel like I'm being very flirtatious. And then he says, the stretching and stroking while talking to you helped. What is happening? Somebody save Chris from himself. What is going on? This could be its own fuel source. Like, his sexual arousal, his non-stop, never-ending horniness on a conversation that has gone nowhere, talked about nothing, and yet he is still beating his meat to it, choking the chicken to what? To what? Like, there's not even, like, an imagination you can make out of this conversation that would be even remotely associated with something sexual. And he just keeps going. He's talking about being naked with a heart on. What happened to your naked stretches? What are your stretches? What are those naked post-workout stretches? Does he put a butt plug in and wiggle it around or something to stretch out his ass, and that's why he's so horny now? Is hitting his G-spot? Like, what is going on? All she says to that is, okay. And then he goes, do you mind? I'm doing it whether you mind or not. I don't really care, but do you mind? Is that cool with you think? And then she goes, mind what? Me stroking myself while we chat. Oh, it's so yucky. Oh, it's so foul. Not at all. Can I tell you a story about last night when I was alone in my bed? Sure. My cat jumped up next to me and started hacking, and then she threw up in my hair. So this is her attempt to try and gross him out to ruin his mood, but she doesn't realize the raid boss of cringe that she's up against. He even calls her bluff. He goes, not gonna get me soft. Literally wiggling his finger saying, nope, that's not gonna stop me. I'm squeezing my hog no matter what. I've had my cat vomit multiple times. I had to get up anyway because I perioded all over my sheets. And he goes, yum, nice try. And she goes, through the mattress cover. He goes, bleach helps. Were you naked? Oh my god, he's still in it. He's still in the zone. He's in the flow state. He's in the mainframe. And she goes, I was wearing my hoodie footy pajamas that have toasters on them. To which he says, with an ass flop. And he comes back to clarify that he meant flap, because ass flop makes no sense and wouldn't want to be rude, that'd be ridiculous. To which she also says, no, that's ridiculous. And he goes, of course, I'm harder than ever now. She just sends an emoji. He goes, yep, I'll leave you alone, unless I can show off. So he's finally saying, all right, I'm out of here. I've had my fill. I've done what I needed to do. I'm good. And then she closes this all out by saying, why do you even need to get a woman on the other end of the conversation? Just put a wig on a stuffed giraffe and show her your stuff and talk about how hot you are. So this whole conversation is one for the books. This is something special. This is so fucking weird. On every possible level. A part of me thought that it was him just trying to be weird on purpose, just to, like, I don't know, gross out a stranger on Tinder or something. But the more I read about it, and read it itself, the sacred text here, the more I'm convinced that this guy is just an actual fucking freak. Like, just an actual lunatic. So yeah, I just had to share this. I just learned about some of the most entertaining drama of 2024. I saw it through Evil Pineley's video covering the situation 2 weeks ago, and it is still going currently today. It's about the CEO of a parchment paper business losing his mind and having this whiny temper tantrum meltdown, all because he watched a TikTok video of a girl being cooked a meal by her father.
When I told my dad I was going to be getting him the same pans that Gordon Ramsay has, he was so excited. I'm talking about the hex-clad pans, and today...
It's a super innocent video of this girl's dad making a meal, and the CEO of parchmentpaper.com was angrier about this than he would be if he walked in on his wife having sex with another man. Though it is quite the stretch of imagination to envision this guy, this lunatic, with any kind of companionship in his life. So after watching this, he was infuriated, went on the actual company's business account, and left a mean comment, which started a series of events he couldn't have possibly foreseen.
I posted a video yesterday of my dad cooking for me with these hex-clad pans that we had gotten. There was a comment on there where the person goes, must be tough living a life on easy mode. I also didn't think the comment was rude at first, so I responded with, lucky to have parents who make it possible. And they responded, yeah, we get it. You have no skills and family money.
That's already such a weird comment right there. Must be nice living life on easy mode when it's just a girl getting cooked a meal by a caring father. Like, how bitter and miserable can your life possibly be to just see something like that and be like, I gotta give her a piece of my mind? That's a line that's usually used in reference to camming or OnlyFans or something. Must be nice living life on recruit difficulty because men are giving you a ton of money just to be hot or be naked or something. And this guy's taking that same energy and putting it into this situation where it's just a girl being cooked a meal by her father. Make it make sense. So he's so upset that he's doing this from the actual business account for parchmentpaper.com. So the parchment paper patriot is really having a conniption. And then the poster responds saying, you know, it's supportive family, got lucky. She said she didn't even find it rude at first, which I don't know how you would see that as anything other than rude. But regardless, her response was super sweet, and he gets even more heated about that, fucking steam coming out of his ears, and goes, yeah, we get it, you have no skills and family money. What kind of projection is this? Holy insecurity. What do you mean you have no skills? All she did was show a video of her dad cooking her a good meal. It's ridiculous to assume that she has no skills. It's based on nothing. She could have bow hunting skills, nunchuck skills. She could be one of the most skillful human beings on the fucking planet. We have no idea. And then he's going, it's just your family's money. You're suckling off their bosom because your parents have money. What is happening here? Do you have no skills because you probably order Uber Eats all the time? Is your skill just ruining businesses? Like, I mean, that's a pretty cool skill, I guess. But anyway, this is only the beginning of his rampage, and he just fully self-destructs over the course of the next few hours. It's like Chaozu from Dragon Ball Z, when Chaozu latches onto Nappa and blows himself up, but the sacrifice was in vain because Nappa barely felt anything, really. That's what happens here. Parchment Paper Patriot blows up, and the girl, totally fine, and makes an absolute clown out of this guy. Dunks on him. She obliterates this man.
And at that point, I'm just like, okay, what the hell? Like, maybe this account is hacked, because from a business account, that seems kind of weird. So I send them an email and I'm like, hey, like, I think somebody's on your business account, like, leaving cyberbullying comments. Didn't say anything else. That was it. And then I get an email from the CEO of...
I think anybody in their right mind would assume that that business account is hacked, because what little toddler would be shitting their pants, soiling their diaper over something as simple as watching a TikTok video of a girl being cooked a meal by her father? So I think that's very sound logic. Oh, this account must be hacked. I'll let the business know. So she reaches out, and the CEO himself, Brandon Howard, steps forward, saying, I don't consider stating factual information is cyberbullying, but if you're offended over a comment about having no skill set while getting to frolic through life with family money as bullying, I'd call the cyberbully police. Delete the comment and move along. Cheers. Brandon, I think the department we need on this case is the cringe police, because Jiminy Christmas, holy cannoli. Oh, he tried a facts don't care about your feelings moment there. What facts are we talking about? Her having no skill set? You have no idea who she is. You know nothing about her. All you watched was her get cooked a meal. I'm sure your parents cooked you meals at some point, right? Maybe they don't anymore because you're probably insufferable to be around, so they probably cut you off. I imagine that's the case, which is why you're so upset over this moment. I don't see at all how this would be indicative of her just frolicking through life, coasting off of her family's money. That's a unreal leap in logic based on nothing at all. And honestly, she was like a good Samaritan here, like looking out for your business, thinking that you might have been hacked because of how awful this behavior is and how terrible the look it is for your business. And then you double down and make things significantly worse by being this big loser. Also, I love the chutzpah here from Big Baby Brandon to claim that she was offended over his comment, when this sensitive worm was offended first over her being made a meal. This guy needs to call the wambulance because he can't stop crying about this video of a father making a meal for his daughter.
Considering my parents literally grew up in mud huts, worked their ass off to get out of India, get us here, and get me to the position that I am and able to have a full-time job and a side career. Then he goes back to the page and goes, cyberbullying is even more funny, and the fact that you emailed us to tell us is actually hilarious. Enjoy frolicking through life and leave the rest up to us adults who create actual economic value without a trust.
Yeah, leave the heavy lifting up to the real adults, like Brandon Howard, CEO of ParchmentPaper.com. It's comical that the parchment paper guy is trying to act hard here. Like, I don't know what he expected to happen. He just looks so stupid. Claiming that she's like a trust fund kid based on nothing. Literally nothing. All just gobbledygook here. All you saw was a video of her getting made a meal by her father. How could you possibly connect all of these weird dots? To me, it seems like the person who's really frolicking through life on easy mode is you, who has unlimited time in the day to respond to random people on TikTok and leave comments that just let everyone know that you're an outrageous asshole. Like, you must not be doing that well business-wise, if that's what it's boiled down to here.
They did send me a legal notice. It came from info@parchmentpapers.com, and it says that they are really worried about the safety of their team, and if I don't remove the defamatory posts on TikTok, they will be taking legal action, which I don't believe it's defamatory
because it's not defamatory at all. All she did was share his comments, which are public, in that email, his statements, all from his mouth. This stupid douchebag is just doing one of those desperate Hail Mary maneuvers when they have nothing else left and trying their absolute best to save a sinking ship from the holes that they themselves have poked in it. And it doesn't work, and it actually leads to him looking like even more of a clown, because she points out some pretty interesting things about this cease and desist.
So yeah, like, I don't believe it's defamatory. I also don't believe you have a legal department because you signed it incorrectly. It says legal department at parchmentpapers.com. You forgot the dot. Did you forget to delete the part where it says like your contact information because you're using a template? And also, what's with the cease and desist? I thought it was CEASE. Who's doing your spell check?
Good heavens, Brandon Howard did some ayahuasca and tried to send a cease and desist and lost himself somewhere in the sauce. So apparently it was signed incorrectly from legal department at parchmentpapers.com. And then here's some more information on it, I suppose, where he left in your contact information in brackets. So, as she points out, that means he's most likely using a template here. That is actually that shit on a teleprompter where it's like, wait for applause, and you say it out loud, and you're like, ugh, I made a big boo-boo, because I wasn't supposed to read that. He fucking left that in. This absolute buffoon. And the goober doesn't even know what a cease and desist is. He did seize and desist. Holy shit. I think he's the only one that works at this company. Nobody else saw this before the email got sent out. His supposed legal department okayed this. If he does have a legal department, they need to be fired right now. They need to get fired yesterday, because that is a disgrace. That is not a legal document whatsoever. Fucking your contact information in brackets, cease and desist. You couldn't have made that any worse. This legal document he tried to send over is now more worthless than the parchment paper that he's built his life upon.
Another day, another email. This time you decided to fix the typos. Congratulations. And you also told me you're fixing the typos. Very interesting thing for your legal department to say.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks. She is cooking him harder than the meal that her father cooked her in the first place that started all of this. I love how he proudly calls attention to fixing the typos. Like a student in class, like, excuse me, teacher, I fixed the spelling mistakes in the cursive. Fix the typos just in case you couldn't figure out. We're very serious about this issue, as your direct actions to intentionally harm to us. Oh my god, the grammar is diabolical as well. And our company is not being taken lightly. We expect action to be taken within 48 hours. See attached. It's probably a picture of Brandon Howard's butthole here going spread goatsy on her. So, this is clearly, again, written by someone that is lacking a 4th grade education. Brandon, I think your first hire at parchmentpaper.com should be an English tutor for yourself here. This is bad. How you even attempt to run a business is beyond me. I guess they just let anyone into the parchment paper industry these days. But, yeah. So, Brandon again tries to strike back here. And, again, looks super dumb for it. But congrats on fixing the typos, idiot.
But your cease and desist at the bottom, I saw that it said rocketlawyer.com. So, of course, I had to call them and ask them, is this a real legal document? And they said no immediately. And they said this looks like a phishing scam and you should probably not respond.
Oh, God, even rocketlawyer.com's shooting spitballs at Brandon now. Just saying that, no, it's definitely not real. It's probably a phishing scam. Don't respond to it. Oh, what do you use the parchment paper for, Brandon? Honestly, it's almost poetic that the guy who owns a paper business can't read or write very well. I think that's poetic almost.
Anyways, then you decided you're going to start using my work email, which is public, to sign me up for corn sites, for Scientology, but you forgot that those companies will actually send you the IP where the accounts were made from. And it's funny because it's pinging in California, and I'm not in California, so... But I do remember that on Trustpilot, when you had your address up, it was coming up in California. Suspicious, huh?
Brandon's out here collecting L's like they're the Infinity Stones. He is greedy for that shit. He can't stop losing. And I can't stop thinking about how he signed off that legal document about, like, having 48 hours to comply or whatever, trying to give it, like, a deadline. Like, this is the ultimatum. You've got to do it within 40 hours, or else it's gonna get serious if you couldn't tell. That's just so lame. Like, I feel like he must have just watched Mission Impossible at some point. This message will self-destruct upon finishing. That kind of thing, and he tried to channel that into this document here to give, like, a sense of urgency, but it falls so flat.
But you want attention so freaking bad because you will not stop talking about this. You are basically the only one who is still talking about this at this point. Since my initial email to you where I thought your company was hacked, I have not tried to contact you. At first, you were laughing and sipping Mai Tais on the beach, and then you were having crybaby sales because this was drawing you so much attention.
So this video is only 3 days old, which is weeks after Brandon's biblical meltdown, and he's still going on about it. So this is a screenshot from his crybaby special, which, oh my god, the irony almost makes me sick. This fucking guy lacks self-awareness to an almost delusional degree. He is the only one that has been crying. He started with the waterworks and the French cries because he watched the girl get cooked a meal by her father. He is the crybaby, and yet he's still trying to push it on everyone else like they're the problem. Our thousands of real customers will appreciate this. On sale, custom dimensions on demand. Boy, howdy, Brandon. Custom dimension parchment paper? I'm out the door. I gotta get on that right now. All these real customers are probably just so excited by this. Nothing makes me believe in a company quite like them referring to their customers as the real customers. I'm sure there's probably dozens of them. Dozens.
Your fake legal letters were not working. You thought it would be a smart idea to reach out to my boss at the agency that I work for and ask him to remediate the situation for you. You thought you could tell my boss to tell me to delete my videos. Just because you involved your business by commenting from your business profile does not mean that you get to include my place of work.
Pathetic, slimy tactics from an absolute greaseball here. So he apparently contacts her boss to try and whine to him to fix it, which obviously didn't do anything. Brandon, this is so sad. This is so embarrassing.
When all of this failed, you thought it would be a great idea to send me one more email stating that you will deal with it as you see fit, whatever the hell that means. And then you decided to add this banner to your website. I'm sure you think that
this is when it gets so spicy. We do not support woke, feminist, cancel culture, hate mob groups who do nothing positive in our community. On his official parchmentpaper.com website, this guy has lost his marbles. He's off his gourd right now. He's going sicko mode. Brother, what are you even talking about? All she did was showcase your comments and made fun of you. What is the woke feminist cancel culture movement here? You made yourself look stupid and people clowned on you for it, rightfully so. You are the problem. And also, didn't you just try one of those cancel culture maneuvers by contacting her boss and her place of work to get her in trouble because of you and your beef with her? How can you lack self-awareness to this degree? It's almost criminal, I would say. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. So he's got this now proudly posted on his website at that point, and I also love how he says that she does nothing positive for the community. When you came out of nowhere, the negative Nancy just saying that she lives life on easy mode and has no skills and relies on her family's money, all just because she had a video of her father cooking for her. What are you talking about? What positive shit do you bring to the world, Brandon? Now, I will say, that section right there is just so outlandish with the woke feminist cancel culture mob being on the paper's website. It's so over the top that I half believe that might actually be faked by somebody, and I also struggle to believe that Brandon would be competent enough to even put that on his website in the first place. I just don't think he has the capability to do that. And I really don't think he has a team around him. I think it's just him. So I think that one might not be real. But to argue against that point, his statements on the official Black Label Paper Instagrams echo that same sentiment about like the woke cancel culture mob and all of that shit. So there is a chance that it's real. There is a very good chance that it's real, but I do want to put it out there that I haven't been able to 100% confirm beyond a shadow of a doubt that it is, because as of right now, it's not on the website. But he could have just deleted it after backlash.
But you continue to talk about it, you continue to make stories about it, and you continually want the attention. As if all of this was not enough, you decided that you were going to start making all of your stories on your Black Label Paper account involving your other company now for no apparent reason. Take down another company, why don't you?
So this is his other business that he's now calling in off the bench for this drama. I cannot imagine why he thought that'd be a good idea, but it's Black Label Paper. So all of his businesses are parchment and paper related, and I would wager a guess that the quality of his product is most likely atrocious, probably not even like worthy to be toilet paper if I had to guess. So he goes, all you fucking losers need to stop messaging us about a fake TikTok account made by then her and her dumb-ass minions because her fragile little ego couldn't handle a couple smart-ass comments on IG about skill set and money. I've never had the commie bullshit app TikTok in my entire life. A bold-faced lie. Also, why would you be posting this on your business account again? Like, your real customers that didn't know about any of this are now being made aware of it, and you look so weak and pathetic in all of it. And tell that little... Oh my god. Oh, what? Oh, I can't even read these. Holy shit. Fucking losers, I swear, it's been 2 weeks almost and still have to deal with this childish bullshit. You are the only one keeping it up, by the way. You are the only one that still is doing this and engaging with it. No one else is talking about it. This drama it's dried up. It's gone stale. But he keeps putting it on people's radar. He keeps serving this up on a plate to us. He's cooking it for us. And we're eating it. He's doing it. He's the chef. She is too immature to settle this privately, and I'm not going to let some woke hate mob ruin my reputation because they live in some mystical fairyland of make-believe and think because they have 20k followers they're doing something in life. Clown emojis. I also can't help but laugh at how much he keeps trying to throw out woke, cancel culture, all of that kind of shit. Just a bunch of buzzwords that don't even apply here, because all that happened was she showed these comments from a laughably embarrassing CEO that he publicly made and then shared his email where he doubled down on it. That's it. It's all his fault. There's nothing else beyond that. And he just can't accept it. He can't come to terms with reality because he lives in the mystical fairyland. Like, he's in the fucking Narnia. Nobody else. It's just him. Here's another one of his posts, this time on a really cute background. He talks about Business Insider and some articles reaching out for a comment. Some fragile ego wannabe influencer IG about their lack of skill set and frolicking through life, where she got so offended and cited the woke hate mob smear campaign against me to get me canceled. Fake accounts were made by her delusional woke followers. He just keeps sprinkling that in there as much as possible, just trying desperately. I cleared up the reality of the situation with all three media outlets. It didn't fit their narrative either, which was to further extend the adult children drama. God. So after 9 years in business, 3 business publications don't care about the good I've done and the help I give to people on a daily fucking basis. Yeah, I'm sure your parchment is invaluable. I'm sure you're doing a great service. You really seem like a stand-up gentleman. Their entire goal is just to hate people who try and do good. You really seem like you're striving to do good, Brandon. You really fucking do, brother. Yeah. What a saint. Oh, they demand respect yet do absolutely nothing to earn it and hate every person who doesn't bend over for their spineless agenda. If you're going to try and shit on me, my brand, business, and companies, you losers need a job, hobby, life outside of TikTok. Fucking losers in their 20s with an 11-year-old intelligence, but yeah, I'm the asshole. Yeah, you are the asshole, Brandon. Also, you're the one with the 11-year-old intelligence. You can't even read and write properly. You tried to make a legal department, like to cosplay as a legal department, and couldn't even get the emails correctly. Typos out the wazoo, and even in the ones where you fix the typos and even proudly proclaim that you fix the typos, you still make a typo. You suck. Like, you were the one with the child brain.
Sure what your end game here is, and I'm not even sure that you know what your end game here is, but in your own words, I don't have time to bicker back and forth about some nonsense comments, nor is it my problem that you're offended over them.
Yeah, that about sums that up. I think she did a great job of just closing the book on it with that final statement there. Fucking fire. I think this whole drama has been so wacky. Like, entertainingly silly. All over nothing. It started over nothing. Just a really insecure, sensitive guy who lost his mind. And couldn't help but do as much damage to him and his business's reputation. And very impressive stuff. I had to talk about this when I learned about it. Huge thanks to Pinely for showing me this, because this is gold. This is some of that, like, top-tier drama. You know what I mean? So I had to talk about it. So I dropped some hot, steaming, creepy text messages on all of you, and I think we were long overdue for some more. So Coach called me off the bench, and I'm about to provide. But something a little different here. The text messages I'm going to show aren't like the standard weirdo, unhinged, lunatic type behavior, but I think it's something that a lot of people might be able to learn from. So, to give a little background, the poster here, she mentioned that she had gone on one date with this guy and knew him for like 2 months, and the date didn't go super well. And then we fast forward to this interaction that we're about to cover, and the reason why I think this is a teachable moment is because I feel like this is something maybe a lot of people do without realizing it's not a good idea, and there's actually hints of old Charles in these text messages here. Deep in the flavor profile of these embarrassing texts we're about to go over, I see myself staring me in the mirror when I was but a wee lad, a young man. The very first time I got a girl's number that I was interested in, I was giddy. It felt like I had just won the Super Bowl, and I couldn't stop texting her, even when I wasn't getting responses, which is a big no-no. That is a huge, unforgivable sin. You don't do that because it's annoying. And sometimes if I didn't receive a response after my like 4th text in a row within a like 20-minute period, I'd just be like, oh man, shucks. She hates me. Zoinks. I blew it. And then I'd still send like another 3 texts. And I know I mentioned this before at one point, but sometimes I'd get so like desperate and like begging for a response that I'd send her little ASCII art of stick figures. It's so bad. Actually, I was worse than the guy in the messages we're about to cover, but his is floating around, and I really think it's important that people realize that that's just not how you should communicate with anyone. Not even just someone that you're interested in, just anybody in general. No one likes to just be pestered. So let's begin. I am believing right now you might be my kryptonite. Need to hang out more, but I'm pretty sure you're my kryptonite. I'm good with anyone, and they will probably be my best friend once they are done. Just what I'm used to. I don't really know what that means, if I'm being honest. What do you mean, she's your kryptonite? It's supposed to be cute and romantic, but I don't really get it. That's kind of like an insult to her. Like, look, you're bad for me. You literally poison me. You make me sick, is basically what that's saying. It's not really that romantic, but I think he's trying to mean it in like a sweet way. But anyway, she says, sorry I can't talk right now, I just got my son from school, give me a second, which is totally reasonable. She's giving a response letting him know that she can't really properly respond to whatever conversation's trying to be started from this cold open. And he goes, okay, sounds good, enjoy your time with them please. Cody is about to get home, and then we're gonna go play some skee board, and I'm drinking, and then sends a picture of the beverage. He must have been butt-chugging that Miller Lite there, because then things really fly off the rails. Feels kind of weird being in Wichita Falls. I love it though. Let's have a good time. Can I call you? I miss you already. Sorry to call, just wanted to talk to you. I'm guessing he tried dialing her there and didn't get a response. I don't want to be one of those guys that just be passionate about anything, but in the instance I was passing about you, there's a couple things in society that you go through. I don't know what type of Confucius wisdom he was trying to drop there. There's a whole lot of words in that vomit, and none of it translates to anything in that sentence. I don't know what was even said there. That is a real head-scratcher. Where's life and just live, but nothing truly measures to you meeting up and having a good conversation. I like you. I like you a lot. My friends coming from all destinations have a party tonight. I hope you're there. I hope you have school, please deem that necessary. Please deem your boy necessary. I love our conversation, but I'm probably the best dude you ever know. Big red flag. Anyone that identifies as a nice guy or the best guy you ever know, hey, probably not going to be the best guy you ever know. Yeah, I'm not gonna beat around the bush here. If you're tooting your own horn, that horn's gonna be stinky most of the time here. But me saying that, I don't know. But you are a princess to me. Sorry to text you so much as I'm not a texter. Do you need to call me? I'm there. I'm leaving Cheddar's now, about to hang out with one of my friends. He's meeting me here. Heart. And she finally responds saying, I'm sorry, I have class in a minute, I'm trying to rush through everything quick as can be. Again, totally understandable, she has already said that she is busy. So it's probably not a good idea to just fucking flood her phone with all this spaghetti that's fallen out here. So let's break this down. He's clearly very excited. And there's nothing wrong with being excited. Being excited's great, but maybe dial it back when you're not getting responses. He talks about loving their conversation. Brother, there's no conversation except for the one you're having with a ghost right now. There's nothing happening in these messages. You are speaking to yourself. To me, it seems like he started panicking when he wasn't getting a response in a time period he felt was acceptable, so then just kept sending more and more text messages on top of it, just bombarding her. And then he sent another picture of, I believe, them out and about. Another thing is, I don't think just sending a bunch of pictures is a good idea either when you're not getting responses. That makes it seem very desperate. Just let this sit for a bit. Just let it ruminate. Let her marinate on this and get back to you when she's not busy. You don't need to keep sending these text messages, which is a lesson that I and many others have learned. You don't want to just keep texting endlessly if you're not getting responses. There's this unspoken rule, I suppose, about, double texting or the forbidden jutsu of a triple text. Of course, it's mainly a meme, but there is some real logic behind it. If you're texting with someone and they're not really responding, it's not really a good idea to just keep pressing that. Either they're not interested, which is fine, it happens, or they're busy. And in either one of these cases, sending more text messages is only going to serve to make things much more uncomfortable and worse all around. Girl, be you, that's all that I want, but I do want to see you. And then sends this creep shot of just two women at the bar they're at, two older women. And then he goes, "So Cody and I are about to take these ladies home," laughing emojis. "I swear to God, two old ladies about to take us home. I want to see you. You in class?" This is just really weird. This is bizarre. Where is this coming from? Why are you taking a photo of just two random ladies claiming they're trying to take you home or something? Shit's getting a little loopy here, and it's still not hitting. She's still not responding, because again, she has already explained she has class. She is busy here. Now, the way he's texting makes me feel like he's drunk, at the very least, because it's almost incoherent, like babbling, saying nothing. It's so many messages to say nothing. Like, what do you mean? I hope you deem your boy necessary or whatever? Like, what is going on? Like, this is... You shouldn't be texting right now. What you need is some Pedialyte and just rest and recuperate. So she finally responds again saying, "I'm in class, I'm sorry. I don't know what the prize that needs to be paid. Just really love the time we had. Might be getting soft." And she's as confused as I am. "What do you mean, lol?" "Me sure who I am is the price I mean." I appreciate the explanation, Yoda. Again, what? Huh? Another picture of some beverages here. "We're about to move, dude thinks he is prettier than me. What the fuck? I told me I can pull more chick than you, bro." Had me cracking up. "Just move to the side and have fun, bro," is what I told him. And then sends a picture of a song that he's listening to. I don't know what's happening in the lore right now. He's treating these text messages with this girl like it's his diary. Or like he's live blogging his life right now in real time, live tweeting in these texts. It's baffling. I also think he's making it up. Like, I don't understand what this is supposed to be. You won't believe this. Guy said he could pull more chick than me? Ha! I couldn't stop laughing. It reminds me of that really shitty advice that people used to preach about, convince a woman that you're desirable by making it seem like other women are vying for your attention and time. Like, fake a phone call or something. Pardon me, madam. I'm getting a phone call. "Yes, Stacy." "No, the pussy appointment was canceled. We can have sex another night. I'm busy. It's boys' night." I'll call you back. Alright, goodbye. Sorry, this girl, she always wants to fuck me. But anyway, what was your name again? Like one of those things where it's like, oh wow, this guy's got... So many girls are interested in this guy. I mean, maybe I should be interested too, was the line of thought. That's what those text messages scream to me, that he's just making that whole situation up right there. Because what random dude's gonna come up saying that he's prettier than him and that he can pull more chicks than him? Just a total stranger. That's not like a human interaction that would ever happen. "Some dudes smell like ass," laughing emojis. My goodness. Why are you telling her this? What is the response even supposed to be? And then he just sends like another random photo of someone playing pool. Presumably him playing pool, I guess. I don't know. He just keeps sending all these fucking photos of beer, two old ladies, him, beer, pool. Why? It's not a picture book. It's supposed to be text messages, like a conversation, but there's no conversation. Stop fucking texting. And he just says, haha. And she responds again, finally, after a bit of a drought, saying, that's nice. I mean, yeah, that sums it up. Like, what are you supposed to say to this? Just, oh, cool. Oh, interesting. Nice. And then he goes, not without you. We are at Deep Eddies. My goodness, lol. You are going to be able to come out? We will come pick you up. Am I going to be able to see you before the night over with? Like, he's going full caveman mode with a lot of these statements here. I think he has drank a lot over the course of the evening. And still, after all of these messages, nothing of value was said. It's just been weird. You've sent 30 messages to almost no response ever. So let the lesson be learned here to not just keep texting into the void. If you're not getting responses, don't force it. It's a bad idea to just keep sending text after text after text. This fool. And then she finally responds and she just gets right down to business. I don't want to be rude, but you knew I had class. I made it clear. I've been here an hour and a half and you have texted me 33 times compared to my 5 times. This was all... I bet a lot of you watching this thought that these text messages had come over the course of like a day or something. An hour and a half. Jiminy Christmas. I'm sorry, I do not want to pursue this any further. You don't understand boundaries or when someone isn't answering. Be safe. Have a good night. I think that is a very understandable, reasonable, and respectful way of just getting this across here. He clearly did not respect boundaries or respect that she was busy, so I think this makes complete sense. And he says, I won't text you anymore, nor will I ever message you again. Have a good life. My apologies did not mean any disrespect. I hope you climb mountains. I truly like you. Glad you disrespected me now so I know. I get it. Wow. And then that emoji, I don't really know what that emoji's supposed to convey here for the emotion. Told me that you would keep me updated. We have a good life. And then some more hand emojis. I mean, it could have been worse, I suppose. Yeah, anyway, just wanted to share this. Hopefully you learned something from it. It's about really creepy guys doing unhinged things to women through texts or videos, whatever. Today's a little different. This is only like the second time I've covered a story like this, where a guy encountered a woman, and it was very different dynamic of things that happened. However, what I want to talk about here is actually the way that this guy handles the situation, because I actually think it's a masterclass in how to communicate effectively. I'll bring you up to speed on the lore that lead to these text messages. The original poster here on Reddit is a man who has been talking to a woman for a couple of hours, and then he receives these messages. Hi. I've been thinking about you all evening and can't get you out of my mind, handsome. I know it's a little early to say this, but I have such a special feeling about you. And he goes, oh wow, that's really nice of you to say. I appreciate that so much. She says, you're welcome. While you've been away, I even told my mom and my friends about you. It truly takes a rare kind of guy for me to be able to say those things so quickly about. I feel so lucky and honored that the stars aligned to have us match when we did. You feel too good to be true, and I want you to know that. And he's blushing here like an anime character. Oh gosh, wow. Gee willikers, goodness gracious. That's super nice. Thank you. Out of curiosity, what is it about me that stands out to you? So, again, they have only been talking for a couple hours in total, and she's already basically planning their wedding. She's telling all of her friends, her family about this guy, despite not knowing shit about him. Prior to this, they had only talked about their pets. At least that's what he said, mainly their pets. So this is a lot to take in here. She's basically creating this Hallmark movie out of nothing. Off rip. We only started talking a couple hours ago and only shared a few texts back and forth so far. So I'm honestly just curious what caught your attention about me, because that's very, very sweet of you. This may sound crazy, but call it a sixth sense if you will. I can read people like a book, and I already feel like you, I've known you forever. I don't know if you believe in past lives or not, but if stuff like that exists, I had a weird feeling about 30 minutes ago that we knew each other in a past life, and I have to get to the bottom of where and how. Damn, that's really crazy. It really is, though. Thank you for finding your way to me. And he just goes, haha, you're welcome. When asked what about him exactly drew her to feel so strongly about him so quickly, she says that it was a sixth sense. Basically, it's her superpower. She's one of the Avengers, and she has the ability to find her soulmate after only communicating with them for a couple of hours. She's like a vibe sorceress. She's able to pick up on vibes and figure out who's got the best vibes for her, and falls in love very quickly. Nothing here seems malicious, and in a vacuum, it's pretty sweet messages. But these are messages you'd expect from someone that you are actively dating, or someone you have known for a long time and are progressing to that stage. This isn't something that you would immediately dump on someone's plate after only knowing them for a couple of hours. That's a lot of food to digest there. That's a lot to put in your pipe and smoke here. There's a lot happening way too quickly. I hope you don't think I'm crazy. I don't normally say stuff like this to guys, but there's something different here, almost like spiritual energy. I've been waiting for my soulmate for years and kept getting led astray by the wrong people, and now I think I know why. We have to meet ASAP. I'm so fucking excited to see what out energy in person is like. If it's this intense over text, I can't imagine how incredible IRL our dynamic will be. She's definitely seeing these text messages through a different lens here, because I'm not picking up on any type of electric energy. I'm not getting butterflies in my tummy just reading it. I'm not getting the tingles. This is two very different levels of intensity and excitement. She's out here full of jubilation, like she just won the lottery. Meanwhile, the guy's energy is the same excitement you get over finding an extra chicken nugget in your 8-piece box. Like, it's very different. But he still says, when are you free? I'd love to meet tomorrow, but I have therapy late afternoon and then work at night. So how about the day after? That'll probably work. I can let you know for sure by tomorrow at some point. How about I take you to dinner? I would love that. I'm so looking forward to the first meeting in our beautiful story, handsome. Aw, lol. You're so sweet. I have to go to bed now for work tomorrow morning, but let's talk more tomorrow. Absolutely. Sweet dreams, sweetheart, and you'll be in my dreams. He says, sweet dreams. I hope you have a good night's rest. The next morning rolls around and it's a totally different ball game, sports fans. Good morning. How's your morning going? She says, good morning. Fine, and yours? He's the one with a lot of energy now. Great so far. You're hitting him with the Tony the Tiger. Great. Just had a meeting with my boss and got some pretty positive feedback, so I'm pretty happy about that. And she just one-words him. Gotcha. He immediately picks up on the tonal shift here and says, is everything okay, lol? Yeah. Why do you ask? Because you're being more short than you were yesterday, which is fine. I'm just trying to see if you're okay and if you need anything. This guy seems like an actual sweetheart, but this guy seems like a fucking peach. This guy seems legitimately like a nice person. And she goes, I appreciate that. Well, to be honest, I was in my feels this morning when I woke up to no good morning text from you. That's an odd thing to expect from someone who is legitimately still a stranger to you, but even still, he apologizes, saying, oh, I'm sorry, I woke up later and had to rush to work. As soon as I got to work, I had the meeting with my boss and then immediately texted you after the meeting was over. I'm really sorry for the misunderstanding. Yeah, it's cool. I just thought you were perfect for me and then this happens. And he's as confused as every other person on the planet would be. He says, I'm confused. Did I do something wrong? It's still pretty early in the morning. It's not like I went most or even half of the day without texting you. She then says, love is about prioritizing other person and you clearly prioritize your job and your boss over me. I'm going to let that ruminate for a moment. I'm going to let you go ahead and marinate in that text for a second. And now we'll proceed. He says, you could have sent a good morning text to me too, you know. Let's just pause there. Love is about prioritizing other person and you clearly prioritize your job and your boss over me. Yes, as he should. You are a stranger. What do you expect him to do? March in there up to his boss, spit in his face and be like, I quit. I'm gonna go travel the world with this girl I talked to last night. We're gonna go around the world in a hot air balloon, damn it. And you can't stop me anymore. I don't need this job. I'm out. What an extraordinarily selfish and downright evil thing to ask of a partner, especially one that's not even your partner. This is, again, a mysterious stranger to you. They haven't even met yet. I hopped on Apex Legends on stream the other night and ended up queuing with a random squad mate in 3 consecutive games. I knew more about that motherfucker through him just on the open mic than these two know about each other. And it's not like I'd send him a good morning text, but like, she's making this huge issue about not receiving a good morning text in a timely enough fashion for her expectations. He still sent a good morning text, mind you, when he didn't need to, since again, they're not dating and they really don't even know each other at all, but he still sent one. It just wasn't fast enough for her, and that right now is a massive problem to her. That is shocking. Why does it automatically have to be me going first? Plus, to be honest, we barely know one another. I don't think it's fair that there are already these expectations. Super reasonable from him. And he's right, if it really is a huge deal to her, she could have been the one to send the good morning text, and then he would have known and been able to respond when he could. She then says, "Dude, you're the man here. You're supposed to be winning my heart. That's your role. I don't want to chase someone. I deserve someone who will romance me and win me over. Waiting to text me until you get to the office shows your priorities are not what I thought they were." What the fuck? What are you talking about? He's already won your heart over by just existing, it seems like, since you... Oh, I'm farting. Yeah, that's how much I think of that statement. I rest my case. I'll let my asshole do the talking on that one. Not much more needs to be said there. He then responds, "I'm sorry, but this is crazy. We are practically strangers and you're already making demands. I do romance whoever I'm pursuing. I'm a very romantic guy. I did text you early this morning, but because it wasn't done exactly the way you think it should be, I'm a bad guy." She then goes on to explain that she doesn't think he's a bad guy, but just doesn't like that he doesn't feel the same way about her as she does to him. She then also explains that the therapist she sees is for her borderline personality disorder, and she explains how that relates to what they've been talking through. And that made a lot of sense when I read that with the way she was acting throughout these text messages, and that is a very real struggle that I always have a lot of sympathy for, and I'm always wishing the best for people going through BPD. It's great that she's trying to get help through therapy, and I'm wishing the absolute best for her with that. What I want to talk about here, though, is how he handles this whole situation. Even before knowing about her BPD, which obviously he didn't since they are completely strangers to each other, he was still being very respectful and communicating effectively. He wasn't being combative or aggressive. He was being a very wholesome individual, and this is just an unfortunate set of circumstances. He responds by saying that he appreciates her sharing her vulnerability, and then says, "Do you mind if I share something that's bothering me a little bit?" And she says, "Yes, please do. I want to know how you feel so badly. Please open up to me." "Well, I'm a little scared that you're already using the word love in regards to us. We are still basically strangers and have been texting for less than 24 hours. And she just says, "Kay, should have known you weren't special after all. You're a normie, a basic bitch if you will. Normies don't understand or appreciate love. They will never know what we do." He says, "Who is we?" She says, "Empaths. I am an empath and feel things more strongly and deeply than regular people, something you clearly don't appreciate and take for granted. One day someone will see my gift and cherish it." He says, "I mean, I wanted to take you on a date. If it went well and we were compatible after a while, I was definitely interested in a serious committed relationship, but I do have to meet someone first to know that and hang out a bit first before I make that commitment," which again is a totally understandable thing. And she says, "Fuck off, bro. You're disgusting. I can't believe I ever saw something in you. You are not the one. You're just another schmuck in a long string of disappointments." Schmuck is a word I haven't heard since the Stone Ages, and I really appreciate that she dusted it off for this message. Schmuck is something that used to make me giggle every time I heard it when I was a kid. "I deserve better. Fuck you. You thought I loved you, but I don't, bitch. Don't ever contact me again. We are over. I never loved you. You lost the best girl. You'll never meet someone like me again because you're a normie who can't see or identify a gym. We are not the same. Love is not a lie. You were. You're the problem. Don't contact me again, basic bitch. You repulse me. Bye, loser." It's actually very sad reading these things. Like, this isn't your normal r/nice guy blow up moment where a dude pretends to be a nice person just to try and get laid, and when he doesn't get pussy out of it, he has a meltdown like, I don't love you, you're fat and ugly, and no one would ever love you, I'm the nicest guy you'll ever meet, and you just blew it with me, the alpha male, fuck you, get out of town, scram, swine. Like, this isn't one of those moments. It's not her fault she has BPD. But she's clearly not ready for a real relationship right now. She's going to need to continue to get help. Her having BPD doesn't make this hurt any less for the guy who just received this. He's done nothing wrong. And I actually think he is a great example of how to communicate softly, respectfully, and just being a pretty good example of like how to just be a normal person when interacting with somebody else. He also mentioned that he is still currently receiving text messages from her that continue to get scarier and more extreme, which is unfortunate to hear. It definitely sounds like she needs help with this to come up with more effective ways of dealing with her BPD. And hopefully she finds that help she needs, but I thought this was worth sharing. And yeah, that's Hold Your Horses. I bet you thought I had finally kicked my addiction to reading uncomfortable, cringy, weird text messages from the dating world. Well, do I have news for you, pal? I've only just begun on my bender here. I can quit anytime I want, it's not that big of a deal. I don't need electroshock therapy or any kind of mumbo-jumbo psychiatry to break me out of this rabbit hole. I don't have a problem. The only problem I have is that there isn't more of these for me to read, damn it. So anyway, let's begin. This morning, I hopped on and read 2 different stories here from relationships that fell apart in the most tragic and confusing of ways. So let's just dive right in. So we're reading from the perspective of the girlfriend in this relationship, and she's communicating with her boyfriend. They were coming up on their 3-year anniversary, but after this exchange, it all went right down the shitter. So it begins. Well, we're fucked. Pork chops went bad. My mom was getting ready to fry them and there was mold. To which the boyfriend just hits her with an okay. So she apologizes saying, I'm sorry, she's just gonna send me to get chicken alone because I already made mac. She's referring to mac and cheese, for those of you that don't understand the nomenclature there. Now, I think it's very important, as we go through this first story, that you know the ages of those involved. It's 25 and 27. The reason why I think that's important is because as we go through this story, I imagine most of you will assume that these are children, like literally 13 and 14-year-olds. But that's just not the reality of it. This guy is about to throw away a 3-year relationship and have a biblical meltdown over not getting some fucking pork chops. He continues giving her the ice treatment here, so he just goes, okay, no good. Actually speaking like a Neanderthal. She says, the pork chops were bad, we didn't know, I'm sorry, I tried to make you food. He just once again says, okay. She says, sorry again, and he just says, cool. So this guy, he's going catatonic right now. We're losing him. He's flatlining. He's starving to death because the pork chops went bad. What is he gonna eat now? He's only a fucking 20-something-year-old man. He can't fend for himself without these pork chops. He's gonna die. She continues by saying, I really tried. Once again, just hits her with that okay. This is actually just like out of One Punch Man, that famous panel where Boros is powering up and One Punch Man just goes, okay. That is his whole personality. So he just goes, okay. And he says, you left? Yeah, she sent me to get chicken. He says, okay again, to which she just says, well, okay. She continues to profusely apologize for this whole situation here, as if she did something wrong, even though she didn't. The pork chops just went bad. I don't know what he expects from her, to like sorcery away all of the mold or whatever on them, or somehow conjure up brand new pork chops from her ass, which is something she also mentioned in the comments, like, I don't know what he wanted from me. Like, she even went to get other food that he could consume. Chicken, mac and cheese, there are other options besides the pork chops, but his mind is set on one thing. Pork chops. He only has room in his noodle for one thought, and right now that thought is pork chops. So now that he realizes he's not getting them, he's about to go berserk over this whole situation here. Cool, you got to eat. I didn't for waiting on you. Good night. Okay, good night. I love you too. No, bro. Good night. I could have ate, but I waited on you, of course. You could have just eaten regardless. So the poster here, she went into detail about all of the context around this. So apparently He had said he was going to go get food, and she mentioned that she was making pork chops with her mom later, so he said, oh, okay, well then I'll just eat the pork chops with you and your mom and I won't get food. To which she replied saying, no, you can still get food, and you're also welcome to have these pork chops, but being the noble chivalrous man that he is, he put down the food that he was going to purchase and instead was going to eat these pork chops, which didn't end up happening. And when he didn't get served his pork chops on a golden platter, he just refused to eat, crossed his arms, kicking his legs in his high chair. Well, then I'm just going to starve. So even though she had other food that he could eat, the chicken, the mac and cheese, he just didn't. And then also didn't feed himself at any point throughout the rest of the night, I guess because he was still so fuming with steam coming out of his ears. And also, according to her in the comments, the reason he didn't eat the chicken and mac and cheese is because he only likes his chicken prepared in the most simple way ever. So he didn't like the way the chicken was prepared, and he also doesn't like mac and cheese, which is already giving me red flags. I don't know anyone that doesn't like mac and cheese in some capacity. That's making him seem already off his gourd just from that simple fact alone. But yeah, he refuses to eat for the rest of the night, all because he couldn't have those pork chops. She says, I tried to cook, I didn't know they were bad, I couldn't have known until they defrosted. I don't care, bro, I shouldn't have waited. They made food, but I had to wait on you. Some bullshit. Good night. Oh my god, this insufferable, whiny asshole. Those pork chops must have been, like, heavenly, divine, like, to just give up food for the rest of the night and then ruin a 3-year relationship. Those pork chops gotta taste immaculate. Like, not only do they have to taste amazing, they have to come with legitimately life-changing benefits in order to have this kind of fucking tantrum over them. Like, taking a bite of those pork chops instantly chisels out your jawline a little bit further or something. I just don't know what kind of pork chops would be worth all of this anger. She apologizes again, saying, well, I'm sorry, good night, I love you too. Bro, stop telling me that. I am so tired of this guy saying bro to his girlfriend. He clearly has no respect for her whatsoever. He then throws a term out I've never seen before. He says UPMO. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that stands for, so I looked it up, and usually it's an abbreviation for Project Management Office. But that doesn't really fit in the context of this conversation. I imagine it has to be an insult. I don't think he just came out of nowhere saying, you Project Management Office. So it must stand for something else, but I still can't piece it together. Maybe you pussy monster outcast? I couldn't tell you. Never mind, now I can tell you. I just took an additional 10 minutes looking through Twitter to see anyone else who has ever used that abbreviation, and apparently it means you piss me off. Wow. Fucking oof. That is so cringe, Jesus Christ. But anyway, she says, I mean, I do, but okay, referring to loving him. And then he just says, I don't want to talk to you. And then she just says, okay, good night, I love you. He then comes back around, as all of these unhinged weirdos do, where they're like, don't talk to me, I don't want to talk to you, good night. And then he just keeps fucking going and going and going and spewing. So he comes back and says, at all. Not tomorrow either. I don't care. This is bullshit. Good night. You're fucking selfish. Fuck you for real. I really don't want to talk to you or see you. Honestly, I'll remember this. Good night. I mean, he's speaking like it's the Walking Dead Telltale game. Goofball will remember this. I mean, obviously he's going to remember this. You just had a fucking meltdown over pork chops. Everyone's going to remember this. So then she's confused, like, what did I do? You said you don't want to talk to me, so I'm leaving you alone. He then says, fuck you, please leave me alone. Get the fuck out. And then she just says, you're the one texting me just to say leave you alone. And then he again comes in, I don't want to talk or see you at all. And then she just, again, I didn't even respond to you. Okay, good night, I love you too. Just trying to get out of this conversation because he just keeps coming back to just say, leave me alone. Stop talking to me. Why aren't you talking to me? Hey, stop talking to me. I'm texting you one more time just to let you know. Don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. It's craziness. It's craziness. So this is the end of the text message screenshots, but the story continues. Right after this, the following morning, he continued this behavior, this attitude, and ended up dumping her because of this whole pork chop fiasco, which is a huge blessing in disguise for her, because this is not a good partner. This is a crazy person. To have this level of blow up over not getting pork chops. Wow, that is some concerning delusion. So she does expand on it a little bit. He continued to insult her the following day before dumping her. So just a piece of shit all around. And I just had to talk about this one because I don't think I've ever seen a relationship, at least of this long, 3 years. They apparently were saving up for a house, end over something so trivial. I haven't seen a relationship crumble over something so meaningless like this. This is a wild case here. So yeah, I wanted to talk about this one a little bit. I know I said I was going to do 2, but I've kind of been yapping about this one for quite a while now, so maybe I'll just save the second one for tomorrow and I'll let it be like a little teaser. I think that's what I'll do. This will be your little appetizer for tomorrow's, where I cover the other really unbelievably awful relationship crumbling text messages. But anyway, I feel bad for the girl here, but I am happy to know that they're not together anymore. I think that's a very good thing for her going forward. I know it's going to be tough for a little while, but wishing her the best. And for the dude in the story here, wishing him nothing but really bad mac and cheese and no pork chops for the rest of his life. So yeah, the craziest text messages I've ever covered. And I know that might be hard for some of you to believe considering all of the wackos we've gone over, but trust me, this takes the cake of lunacy. They are so outrageous that I at one point threw my hands in the air and said, enough is enough, fiddlesticks, this is fake. It has to be fake. It's too ridiculous. So I did a little bit of digging, and it seemed other people also thought that they might be fake. So after going through the evidence they compiled, it turns out that this is most likely real. The person that these posts seem to originate from actually did show up apparently in some court documents confirming a divorce. So from what I can tell here, it does seem like these are real, and the story here is legitimate, which is so fucking sad. And the man in these messages needs to be confined to Arkham Asylum ASAP. Dude needs his own personal padded cell, and you're about to see why. All of this hoopla starts because a mother breastfed her child. The husband says, "You've been breastfeeding? You know how I fucking feel about that." She replies, "What time are you coming back?" He says, "I don't know if I am." She says, "Why, are you mad at me?" "Yes." "What did I do? It's just the breastfeeding?" "That. The feelings it gives me and how I finally understand that you truly don't respect me." And she says, "I do respect you. I just thought we could compromise about the breastfeeding. Talk about it. If you don't like seeing it, maybe I can just do it in a different room." Weirdo's mad because the mother of his child is breastfeeding that child. Is there a worse possible reason on this planet for anger? I can't think of a single reason any sane human being would be upset about something like that. Unless it's like some kind of crazy situation like, "Hey honey, I just got some phone calls from some concerned parents. Apparently you tried to breastfeed our son Jerichomo at the football game. He's 15 years old. Maybe it's about time we wean him off of that. We're scaring the other parents here." But this, they're talking about a newborn baby. She's still in the hospital with the newborn. He continues, "Well, we didn't talk about it. You just did it. And it's not about seeing it. I know it's happening. I'm done." Done? "Let me know when you're being discharged and I'll be there." Like, you're divorcing me? You go behind my back and do something I've stressed about not doing. That's no different than lying and shows how little you respect me. I wasn't meaning to disrespect you. I just wanted to give Wilder breast milk since he was born early, and I know it's the best thing for him with the antibodies and other stuff he'll get from it. The only thing wilder than that name is the husband's brain-rotted brain. Absolute delusion here to be making a huge stink about her breastfeeding a newborn. So the name Wilder, and you're about to see they actually have another child named Hunter, spelled with a Y. Those two names really set off my bullshit alarms. Like, it was really giving me the heebie-jeebies of, this is fucking fish paste. This is baloney. But again, from what I've seen with what people have found, because the original poster and everything, people did a lot of super sleuthing. From what's been put out there, it does seem like it's legitimate. He continues his rampage saying he's not a preemie, he was born at full term, it's still unneeded, he's still bigger than I was when I was born, and you could have always asked the nurses for a pump. It's a proven scientific fact that breast milk is no better than modern formula. He's wrong about that, by the way. Modern formula is fine for women that don't want to breastfeed or can't. I decided to fact check that claim, do a little research on it. Turns out it's not a scientific fact. You know what is a scientific fact, though? That this man is clinically insane. So keep in mind, I am not a breast milk scientist. I'm not a connoisseur of boob juice. I'm not the lactation lord. But from The bits and pieces I read about breast milk versus formula, it seems that breast milk is still the most recommended way of getting nutrients to your baby, if possible. She says, I know, but the benefits of the breast milk still outweigh the formula. Latching helps drop the milk better than the pumps. He says, yeah, the benefits to where I'll never be able to look at you the same way again. She's confused, as everyone listening and reading this is right now, scratching their head, wondering what the fuck is wrong with this weirdo. She says, what do you mean? You think I'm a bad mom for breastfeeding? And he says, I think you're a bad wife. I think you don't respect me. I think you took a joy away from me. I think a lot of things. Took a joy from you? I don't understand what you mean. Formula can still be used. And this is where he drops the bombshell. He reveals where all of this anger and hostility comes from. I enjoy your boobs. Now they've been in another man's mouth. I now no longer enjoy your boobs. He goes Neanderthal mode. Boob sucked by baby. Boob no good to me now. No want tit no more. His own child he views as competition because his newborn son suckled his mother's bosom for milk. The most natural thing throughout human history. And somehow this psychopath thinks that his newborn has now tainted his wife's boobs and he can no longer enjoy them, saying that they were in another man's mouth. Wait until he finds out where that baby came from, because that baby came out of his wife's vagina. Well, actually, I guess that's not true. I bet there is a non-zero chance that this unhinged maniac forced his wife to get a C-section, so that way her vagina wasn't ruined by another man. I bet there's actually a really high likelihood that that's exactly what happened. And that's scary. This dude is so fucking red-pilled, he won't even let his own newborn son touch his wife's body. I bet he also wouldn't even let his wife change their son's diapers, because he views them as competition. He'd bust into the room, I know what you did, bitch! You looked at another man's wiener when you changed Wilder's diaper, didn't you? And just starts profusely crying, probably calls her like a cheater or something if she changes their son's diapers. This guy is so mentally unwell, I was stunned. Like I said, I couldn't believe this was real. She tries to talk sensibly to him. Just Wilder's, not another man. Their baby, their actual baby goo goo gaga infant is who we're talking about here, not a man. He views an actual, 2-day-old as a man? What the fuck? But anyway, he says, he's a male, and your son. That makes it incestuous in my eyes. And she says, it's not like that at all. And then he goes, I'm not saying anything I haven't told you before. So this man was probably riddled with red flags for a long time in this relationship, and now he is just breaking. Just melting down. That's definitely one of the most unhinged things I've probably ever seen anyone try and say. That breastfeeding your own child is incestuous. There are so many things wrong with that. I don't even know where to begin. It is so shockingly stupid. This guy needs to be put away. He needs to be institutionalized. ASAP. Dude must think that all the days pre-baby formula, so, the thousands of years BF before formula, it was all just incest with people breastfeeding their newborns. This guy is so dangerously disconnected from reality, it is scary. He is a loose cannon on the edge that is snapping. I'm going to spoil a little bit here and just let you know, he divorces his wife over her breastfeeding their child. Just let that marinate for a second. Sit and stew in it. That is insane. That is crazy. Let me pose a question to this individual. I blanked out his name, but I really want to call him by name. But I'd love to pose a question to him. Does he realize how fucking degenerate this is and how much of a pervert you must be to view a newborn baby as a man that is a competition to you? And it's not even like a random baby either. Not like that would make it excusable. Like, anyone who would go out there and view a baby as competition because they're getting breastfed is very fucked in the head. But this is another level of fucked because it's his own child. He fucking blew that load into the world. This is his DNA in there. And he immediately views it as some kind of like sexual competition with his own kid. That's so weird. He is a menace. He is a menace. She leaves out some of the conversation here. I imagine it got way too personal with some of the information that was conveyed. But it starts here saying, I wasn't playing. She says, I know. You are a bitch for making matters worse. I'm sorry you feel that way towards me. I doubt they're going to let me bring y'all home, so good luck finding out or figuring out a way to make that happen. I just felt it would be okay to breastfeed Wilder, and we could compromise a situation where you don't have to be in the room. You don't get it. I told you that with Hunter. Huntier. The way Hunter is spelled is so peculiar. Again, that's what really like made me put on my fedora and do a Reddit deep dive on where this picture came from, who posted it, and if it was real, because these two names really just make it seem like it's like rage bait or some kind of joke. But again, like there is quite a bit of evidence that points to it being legitimate. He continues, that was a compromise you made then, and I still feel the same way about it. After you heal and get on your feet and are able to afford your own place, move out. Until then, no matter how long it takes, the bedroom is all yours. I'll set up an air mattress in Wilder's room tomorrow. Letting this fungus anywhere near their child seems like a recipe for disaster. He already views Wilder, his newborn son, as competition. Him staying in the same room as Wilder, I think, is just a terrible, terrible idea. Because it really does seem like he thinks that his wife has cheated on him now by breastfeeding their son. Like, he's calling her, like, you know, disrespectful, doesn't have any respect for him and what he wishes because he told her not to breastfeed because now he can't enjoy her boobs anymore. It's all just ruined. It's all kaput. All because Wilder was breastfed by her. So I really think having him anywhere near these kids is a bad idea. Fuck you, we're done. I'm going to talk to a lawyer about 50-50 custody because no matter how much I hate you, I would never keep the boys from you. You can stay at the house for as ever long as you need. I'll sleep in Wilder's room. I'm going to pause right there. You absolute goober. You goofball. You really think that you would get 100% of custody here? He's like, okay, since I'm such a benevolent saint, I will grant you 50-50 custody of our kids. Even though I hate you, you can see them sometimes, you disrespectful harlot. Brother, I'm going to give you the truth here. Brace for the cold water. Here it comes. If anyone, especially a lawyer, saw these text messages as well as the threats that the hospital was made aware of, you would never be around these kids. Rightfully so. It's unsafe to have them around you. You are deranged. You are absolutely fucking filthy. So I don't know why he thinks he would get 50-50 custody, like that'd be his call to make. He replies to something she said that isn't in these screenshots. She said, they made a report because of what happened the first night I stayed in the hospital. I'm guessing he exploded then too about something. And he replies saying, not what they said. They didn't know anything about last week. They said because you told them this morning you didn't feel safe with me in the room and wanted me to leave. And she says, I just didn't want to fight over me breastfeeding. Fuck you. I told you when we fought over it with Hunter I would leave you if you did it. This has been like his worst nightmare, having a child that gets breastfed. This has to be, with no exaggeration, the most insecure man on the planet. Bar none. No one else would even come close. He is so insecure that he worries that his own flesh and blood is a threat to him because they get breastfed by his wife. Wow. So again, this is so over the top that I questioned its authenticity. And as sad as it is, it seems like it's real. And he, from what I can see, was the one to start pushing forward, like, the divorce. Like, that's the best thing for the mother and her children, 100%, and I'm sure she'll realize that down the line. It's probably very difficult right now. But, man, this guy is bad news. What a terrible piece of shit. I just had to talk about these. I was blown away by what I was reading going through this. I just had to share it. That's really about it. Awful situation. I'm wishing the best for the mother and the kids here. And the best thing that can happen with this guy is he gets put in a straitjacket and goes somewhere far, far away. Because I don't know how you even fix that perspective. This guy is so lost in the sauce, there is no getting him back. It's insalvageable. Sometimes be challenging, and occasionally the only winning move is not to play. Sometimes it's best just to spam emotes and see how that goes. And today I want to take you on a journey. It's a 2-part epic like Homer's Odyssey, but if Homer had written about a weirdo who's desperately trying to make a woman fall in love with him by calling her autistic. Now the backstory here, I'll go ahead and give you the cliff notes of the prequel. This gentle sir protagonist has just joined a new friend group and has found particular interest in this woman, and he reaches out to her trying to talk to her saying, I'll be honest with you, I don't understand you, and then he just goes on to say that she's quiet and he doesn't know anything about her other than she likes potatoes in the town of Salem, and that he just laments that he just doesn't know anything about her and she doesn't make eye contact with him. She asks, does that bother you? And he says no, which is a big fib right there. Lying is a sin and now he's condemned straight to hell. This clearly bothers him because he melts down about it. He also doesn't keep that charade up for long. He immediately folds and says, I mean, somewhat, yeah. It actually hurts a lot. It keeps me up at night. I actually can't sleep. I'm crying all the time because of it. But it's a normal human response, so you can't blame me. Too late. I'm already blaming you. Can I ask a blunt question? She says, sure. And he says, are you autistic? Man, the Riz Lord has struck like a lightning bolt here. If those panties aren't sodden after that blunt question, I just don't know what works anymore. She says, no, are you? And he goes, lol, no. So what do you think about me? She says, in what way? He seems to get kind of offended by that, so he snaps like a Redditor adjusting his fedora. It's a simple question. What do you think about me? Madame, it's actually quite elementary, honestly. What do you think about me as a lover? She pulls no punches and just goes, I don't really think of you, so not sure how to answer that. That was quite the fucking biblical smackdown right there. And he says, Jesus. Okay, I'll try something else. Why? At that point, you should just be like, yep, that didn't work. I'm gonna go do something else. I'm gonna go solo queue in League of Legends and wash away my troubles. I don't know why he's gonna try something else. But he goes, why do you never laugh at my jokes? Not that I'm trying to make you in particular laugh. Why is it so hard to make conversation with you? It's like I'm reading text messages from Timmy Turner to Trixie. What do you mean, why do you never laugh at my jokes? I wonder what the dynamic of the friend group is like with this guy in there. Does he try to be like the class clown or something? So, for context, she is 23 years old, he is 24 years old, and I imagine the rest of the friend group is in that early 20s ballpark. So these aren't children, these are adults. And he's like, why do you never laugh at my jokes? I told you to pull my finger and I tooted. And you didn't even giggle. What am I supposed to do? This is side-splitting comedy. Come on. Why is it so hard to make conversation with you? Are you autistic? He just texts so juvenile. What do you think about me? Do you like me? Circle yes or no. Or you're autistic. And then he runs away. She responds saying, I'm more of a listener. Don't take it personal. I'm just shy, I guess. And then he immediately takes it personal. There's gotta be a reason. I'm better looking and more successful than 90% of the men you know. So what's your type? I want to get to know you. He's desperate. He's on his knees right now, shaking his hands. I must know. There's gotta be a reason. And she says, my type is a man who doesn't ask me if I'm autistic. I mean, that's pretty picky. Come on. Well, you're looking for a unicorn here. All good men accuse the women they're trying to win over of being autistic at some point. It's standard protocol. This guy's just following the textbook formula. He then says, can you blame me for assuming that? What the fuck? Yes, absolutely. That's a crazy thing to assume about someone, especially considering his whole purpose of the conversation was trying to get laid. He's romantically interested in this person, and his way of spitting game is to ask if they're autistic. That's such a weird thing to do. And then he goes, don't get me wrong, you're pretty, but I definitely considered the possibility you're autistic or definitely on the spectrum somewhere. One of the number one signs of autism is not laughing at this guy's jokes. So he looked it up on WebMD and he was just, for her own sake, concerned for her well-being. He's actually looking out for her. She says, lol, what? Reflect on your words when you go to bed tonight. See ya. Just trying to end this conversation because it's going downhill so quick. This is an avalanche of dog shit. And he just goes, wow. Owen Wilson's there for a moment and then just says, I think you're jealous I spent the night with redacted and redacted and you went home alone. This is classic. This is classic. When everything goes tits up, it's like, you're actually just super jealous of me because I'm slamming ham on the regular. I'm fucking your friends. I am having sex with women that want me because it's impossible for a woman not to want me. You just must be autistic. That's what's going on here. And you're jealous now. You're the problem, not me, and you're lucky that I even gave you the time of day. Your loss. He then clears the air here, making sure that it doesn't trouble her mind that Casanova is spoken for, and he also doesn't want any rumors to spread in the friend group, so he clarifies, "Don't worry, nothing happened. We just watched Netflix in bed. No need to be jealous," and then drop this emoji. I have a hunch she really wasn't jealous. Just a guess. She doesn't seem interested. And I think you have ensured that she will never be interested by trying to, diagnose her with autism through text message flirting. Now, the next day, she made a follow-up post because he had an even bigger, psychotic break here. So that was all part one. Part two, he comes back bigger and badder than ever here. The sequel went insano style. So he texts her saying, "What's your problem? Is this some sort of trauma response?" Crying, laughing emoji, which I don't think there was any laughing, just crying behind the phone on this one. "I just don't get it," blank, using her name. "I've known you since March 12th, and for whatever God knows what reason, you decide to treat me like complete shit. You hug redacted and redacted, but not me. You share a couch with redacted, but when I join, you get up and leave. Do you think I'm fucking stupid? Or blind? Or what? The fuck did I ever do to you? I'm pissed off because you're clueless and extremely oblivious to the point you don't appreciate a good thing when it's directly in your face." What the hell is even that, brother? A good thing when it's directly in your face? The only thing that's directly in her face is your accusations that she might be autistic. What are you talking about? You're LARPing as her, doctor, and nothing else. Even just setting aside the baffling autism accusations, there's no even semblance of romance behind his texts. They're just aggressive. And nothing beyond that. They're just weird. So I don't know why he's thinking that he's doing such a good job with the game that she should be enamored with him. But then he just goes, "I just, period, don't, period, get, period, it, period." Goes full-blown rock bottom. "I just don't get it. Help me understand her name." He keeps repeating her name. So he just keeps saying it over and over again. Just saying her name in these texts. And she just says, "Lol, what?" She says, "Are you fighting yourself right now? Am I involved in this argument?" Man, she is just absolutely slapping this guy. It's so good. Yeah, I mean, this guy's just fighting his inner demons here. This man's battling ghosts in the paranormal dimension. He says, "This is all about you," her name. "Stop acting so obtuse. You may not be autistic, but you sure act like you're into trains or some shit." I don't know what is going on in his fucking frontal lobe here. It just gets worse and worse. She says, "LMAO, why do you keep saying my name? Trains are cool. Is there some unresolved childhood trauma I need to know about? Because what the fuck is your problem? I can help you out if that's the case, but you have to let me take the first step and stop being so guarded all the damn time. It's impossible to get through to you." Why would you be asking about these things? If there's some childhood trauma, I need to know about it. Also, let's just go ahead and assume she's like, you know what, there is some childhood trauma, and then she, spills her guts to him. This would be, the worst person to confide anything in. This is a guy who's already having a conniption because she doesn't laugh at his jokes and doesn't make eye contact enough with him. I highly doubt he would be a good confidant for anything heavy. This guy would immediately be like, "Ugh, well, childhood trauma, it's another symptom of autism. It's ridiculous. You're lucky you have me around, honestly." Says her name again, which is so creepy. He just keeps throwing her name into every message he sends as if it's some kind of, dramatic moment in a television series. "Please, I know you hear it all the time, but you're very pretty. I like you when you're not acting like an autistic, frigid bitch. Respectfully." Hey, that silver tongue's coming out in full effect right now. He's becoming irresistible. March 12th, and I haven't proven myself enough to you yet. Real quick, March 12th is not that long. It's not like you've fucking known her your whole life or anything. Like, what are you expecting to do in this span of time to make her fall in love with you? What do you mean you haven't proven yourself enough to her yet? What are you trying to do, like backflips and shit? Do you just keep trying to tell, like, the worst jokes imaginable, hoping to get some kind of pity giggle out of her? Like, it's so incomprehensible. He thinks that it's been such a long time. You've been single all this time. Ages. Almost 2 months you've been single. Like, it's crazy. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't compute. It's extremely suspicious, actually. Why would a girl like you be single? What are you hiding? I don't understand what you want, in all honesty, lol. First step of what? Referring to his previous message where he asked her to, or when he said that he wants to take the first step, but she needs to let him. She teases him with some sarcasm here. LMAO, okay, I'm hiding so much, dude. First step of our potential. He's already envisioned 5 different universes where you two are madly in love, and the potential it's incalculable. I can make your life 10 times better than it is now. I'm so sure of that, I'd give that to you in writing, which is legally binding through text messages. You're beautiful, her name again, and I'm what you want in a guy, correct? Incorrect. Where did he even get that assumption from? I'm exactly what you want in a guy, right? The one who just keeps accusing you of being autistic? That's what you're looking for, isn't it? No? Well, I guess you have some unresolved childhood trauma then, and you're just a frigid bitch, I suppose. And then he just says, you're joking. You're performing. He can't accept that she wouldn't be interested in him. You're putting on a teach me a lesson or something stupid, lol. I don't for a second believe you. Her name again. What does that mean? You're putting on a teach me a lesson? What is that? I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense. I don't have to date you just because you find me physically attractive. That's like consent 101. Believe what you want. Don't forget, I'm suspicious. Yeah, you are, because there's no way you're single. You either have a severe mental disorder or asexual. And she says, so anyone who's not into you falls under that category, LMAO. Interesting. I love so many things about you. Her name again. The way that his mind is able to switch gears is pretty impressive here. You must have a severe mental disorder. I love so many things about you, Schnookums. Oh, sweet pea. Oh, my goodness. I just want to cuddle up inside you and let our bodies perform fucking friction on each other till we start a fire with our love. Genuinely, I love you as a friend, and I love you as a person. I want to make you smile. Smile emoji. That's so cringe. Oh, that's so fucking bad. I want to make you smile. Like this. See Exhibit A, for example. It's the smiling emoji with a little blush. Oh... He's trying to be mushy here after insulting her, doing nothing but insulting her for the entire, 2-day conversation. What's your height, by the way? All of my exes have been 5'9 plus, so taller than you, Winky. But you have gorgeous eyes and tasty lips for sure. You look healthy. You make me want to become a daddy. Who took his phone? Who did he just give his phone to? This can't be the same guy. This is full-blown Jekyll and Hyde. It cannot be the fucking same guy. Literally, the previous message before he tried this approach was saying that she must have some kind of severe mental disorder or be asexual because she's still single after 2 months. Oh boy. Jiminy Christmas. So, this is going to be a shocker, but that's the last time they communicated, at least as of right now. She shared the text messages with the rest of the friend group, and they found him to be extremely obnoxious and creepy, so apparently they kicked him out and they don't really talk to him. Can't imagine why. Seems like such a good, stable individual, I suppose. Yeah, I just wanted to share this a little bit. If you're going to try and flirt with someone, maybe don't follow this guy's roadmap. Not very effective. Whether it's video games, sports, or relationships, it's one of those universally hated things by everyone across the globe, kind of like cockroaches. And in 2015, it was the worst recorded year in history to be a cheater, because that was the year of the infamous Ashley Madison data breach. Ashley Madison is a website that's used for facilitating cheating. Its slogan is "Life is short, have an affair," so it was mainly for married individuals to find people to cheat on their spouse with. And in 2015, they were hacked, and the hacking group threatened to release their users' identifying personal information which would undoubtedly ruin their relationships once it was released to the public. The way I've always pictured this unfolding at the Ashley Madison headquarters is a lot like the climax of a CIA espionage spy movie or something, where like, oh my god, we're about to get burnt. All of our undercover operatives are about to have their identities leaked. But in this case, the secret identities are just shitty goobers that are cheating on their significant others behind their back. Now, Ashley Madison did survive this. The users came flocking back, probably because they had nowhere else to go since their relationships burned to the ground under their own hand and their own sins. And that brings us to today. Ashley Madison plays a central role in the story I want to cover. This is an exchange between a 26-year-old woman and her 28-year-old boyfriend, and she just found out that he had an Ashley Madison account 6 months ago, and this is her confronting him with that cold, hard fact. So she sends a screenshot of Ashley Madison, to which he responds, "Huh?" Like a cartoon character. Like in my head, the way he said that is like Tim the Toolman Taylor out of Home Improvement. "Huh?" And then she just goes, "Nice." And then his response is 2 laughing crying emojis, "What's up?" He uses the laughing crying emojis a lot during this conversation. It must be not only his favorite emoji, but his favorite thing in the world. He can't stop laughing and crying here. He's like the fucking Joker or something, I guess. Because every single thing he says throughout here uses those emojis pretty much. It is so fucking annoying. Just an absolute insufferable douchebag. So she says, "You tell me," and he goes, "Tell you what?" He's trying to play dumb like he has no idea what's going on. Ashley who? Like, he's acting like he's been hit by the orb of confusion out of SpongeBob. It's fucking ridiculous. She clearly knows what you've done. Like, I don't know why he's even trying this angle. Like, he's too stupid to process what's going on. You've lost your mind, babe. What is all this about, huh? What's all this commotion, this mumbo jumbo? She clearly knows. It's fucking annoying reading this guy's text messages. Like, it reminds me of when I played that AI interrogation detective game where you just get nowhere when talking to the AI because it's not quite sophisticated enough, so you get locked in an endless loop. She is speaking to a brick wall of stupid. And then she just goes, "Or don't. I don't care. I'm done." And his response to it is just truly unhinged. So he goes LMAO, because you know he can't stop laughing about it. He is cracking up right now, slapping his knee. This is the best comedy he's ever seen in his life. "What are you going on about? Period got you tripping?" That is fucking wild. So he's trying to like gaslight her or make her feel like she's insane for even thinking Ashley Madison had anything to do with him in any way. He's trying so hard to try and like push this on her like, "Oh wow, did you forget to take your normal pills today, babe? Oh goodness gracious. Here, let me go get your prescription here so you can come back to reality instead of whatever fantasy you're in here about Ashley Madison." I don't know what that is. Like, this is what's happening here? What's going on? Your period come up or something? You're delusional. So she replies no, and then he goes, "And then are you going to explain what you sent me?" Like, what do you mean? You would clearly know what she sent you. Fuck, it's so frustrating just reading this guy's texts. So she goes, "There's really nothing for me to explain. You're the one playing dumb." Immediately calling his bluff on this. He is legitimately just playing the dumbest man on the planet right now. And he continues to double down on it. Playing dumb about what? I'm confused. And then she goes, "You're not confused, lol," and then drops his username, I think, and I can only make out the last part of it, but there's a 10 in there. I'm guessing because every other variation of his favorite Xbox gamer tag was taken, so he had to throw on some numbers at the end. So not only was he at least trying to cheat on his girlfriend, he was doing it under the screen name that a 12-year-old would use in World of Warcraft. That's so fucking cringe, Jesus. And then he goes, laughing, crying emoji. "Wasn't that one of those websites you tried to join when you were looking for a sugar daddy?" And I said, "Fine, I'm gonna look for a sugar mama then." Laughing, crying emoji. Now, that little tidbit of lore is never addressed in the text messages again because he double texted her right after that. So the original poster expanded on it in the comments. Apparently this was a joke the two of them made a while ago about her looking for a sugar daddy and him looking for a sugar mama. But she allegedly never did anything with that, and she assumed he also didn't do anything with that because it was just a joke they shared. and this seems like a desperate attempt from him to try and weasel out some kind of explanation for why he'd be on Ashley Madison and tried to tie it into that. I didn't do anything wrong, asshole, LMAO. I most definitely wouldn't need a website to meet girls. This guy's such a giga-chad pussy slayer, he doesn't need technology to meet women. Fuck, he could just go outside right now and get drowned in sodden panties that would be tossed to him the second he opened his door. Obviously. So then she says, no, it wasn't, and you still did, and paid for it too. And then he hits her with another laughing, crying emoji. I don't think I ever had a conversation with anyone on there. It's full of bots. Definitely never met with anyone. How would you know it's full of bots if you didn't try and converse with people on there? You played yourself. You immediately just fucking showed your whole hand. You absolutely must have used the service to know that it's full of bots. And you must have paid for it in order to access the service as well. Like, checkmate. You did it to yourself. You left yourself wide open to the scholars, mate. Also, it's important to call attention to the fact that he called her an asshole for her bringing this to him. Craziness. Craziness. That doesn't make a difference. You still wanted to cheat enough to pay to do it. Laughing, crying emoji. Babe, if I wanted to cheat, I promise you I would not need to use a website. And she says, yet you still did. And then here it comes. My intentions were not to cheat. And then, of course, she realizes that's a load of baloney there. That's a bunch of fucking horseradish. So she says that is literally the entire purpose of the site. There's no other intention. Please stop trying to make it seem less bad. I know you didn't really care for me. There is no other intention you can have on Ashley Madison besides trying to fuck somebody else. Like, what were you on there for? Looking for a League of Legends duo partner? Like, there's nothing else you could be doing on Ashley Madison. What else would the intention be? You needed someone to grade your poetry or something? Like, there is nothing else. And he knows that it's an impossible angle that he's trying to play here because he doesn't even bother trying to expand on it. No, listen, darling, my intentions weren't to cheat. In fact, they were actually quite noble, and here's why. Like, he didn't even bother. He's just like, hey, I wasn't there to cheat. Just take my word for it. So he finishes it off by saying, doesn't mean that was my intentions though, but LMAO, babe. I definitely care about you, jackass. Like, he's trying to be like somewhat playful about it and try and like minimize the severity of what he's done or attempted to do. He's just like, LMAO, babe. You jackass. You silly salamander. Oh my goodness, pumpkin pie. Come on, you know I care about you. I was just thinking about how I missed you earlier before you called. I couldn't cheat on you, honey. I was actually just thinking about you right before you called. Like, I was actually thinking about you. How could I possibly have cheated on you if I just thought of you, right? Like, come on, you're being ridiculous. Calm down, come on. It's not a big deal. A super innovative and interesting strategy from him that did not pan out well at all. This is where the relationship ended. Cheating will usually put the kibosh on a relationship, as well it should. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of share this story with all of you here. That's Cringe. His little helpers were cooking up something fierce, and, well, it got gifted under my tree a bit early today, and I wanted to share it with all of you. It's definitely different than the normal things we've been covering when it comes to this romantic rabbit hole of tragedy. The worst text messages, the worst flirting, the worst dates. This one is different from all the others I've covered, actually, so cozy on up with your favorite Christmas sweater, get under the mistletoe, and get ready to kiss your sanity goodbye, because this one is a real head-scratcher. For the first time in this goofy little series history, we're getting the perspective of a man talking to a woman here. Usually it's the other way around, where a woman has a really creepy encounter with a man and things go cattywampus, shit pops off, tits up, it's all over the place, it's a catastrophe. This time, we're going Freaky Friday mode, we're switching bodies here, so we're on the perspective of a man who has just matched with a woman from Tinder. They've been talking for a little while and it leads to this. I'm jealous, I want ribeye. I'm assuming they were talking about ribeye. I'm quite the detective, I know. I just have a hunch that that's what the conversation was about. She then continues, lol, I'm glad you liked that. To which he says, I would happily cook for you. What's your favorite food? Oh, you will? I love baking, so maybe I'll bake you a cake or some bread, lol. I love steak, rare or medium rare. I love that idea. When can we make this happen? What a great start. I dare say these two are soulmates. This is wholesome, the exchange is going super well. Looks like they're about to set up a date to cook together or bake together. How could it possibly go awry? The good vibes continue. I'm not sure. You haven't asked me on a proper date yet. To which he says, what are you up to tomorrow evening? This is already looking like something out of a Hallmark movie. This is super efficient, super, great all around. She says, I'm pretty sure my family is stopping by because my sister's in town, but I'm not completely sure. What about you? I see. I've got nothing tomorrow evening. I'd like to schedule said date with you, but I also need to maneuver around holiday busyness. Do you have availability 12/26? And she says, I'm off all next week. The 26th would be perfect, with 2 blushing, smiling emojis. And I'm just sitting here smiling, blushing, reading this story. Got me cheesing. It's so happy and wholesome. I also find it cute that in order to schedule the date, he conducted it like it was some kind of business meeting, penciling her in and locking it down. And the whole thing is just adorable. So how could it possibly end up in the shitter? What went wrong? Well, let's take a peek. Beautiful. It's a date. Would you be comfortable coming to my loft in blank and we can cook? I have a cat here too. She's lovely. To which she responds, no, I'm sorry. I don't do apartment dates for first dates. That literally made me so disappointed that you said that as a suggestion. I'm going to cut this loose. I hope you have a good Christmas and good New Year. Wish you the best. To which he says, all good. That's a totally understandable position from the woman here. Not going to a stranger's apartment for the first date is probably the safest decision you can make, so there's nothing wrong with setting a hard line in the sand like, hey, I don't really go to people's apartments for the first time meeting them. That kind of decision probably keeps you alive. You might end up at like a fucking serial killer's place. You go over there for medium rare steak, and you end up the steak. Turns out your Tinder date is Armin Meaves or something from Cannibal Cafe. So there's nothing wrong with her not wanting to go there for the first date. But she immediately jumps to being like, all right, we're done here. I'm so disappointed you even suggested it. Even though they were talking about cooking and baking together. It's not like he just pulled this out of his ass like a nefarious plot where he was rubbing his hands together and came up with this scheme. They were talking about cooking and baking together. How are you supposed to do that together outside of a household or an apartment or something? There's really no way to do that, so it should be pretty obvious why he suggested it. And he wasn't pressuring her into it. He even said, if you're comfortable, here's an option I think would be fun, since we've been talking about cooking and baking. He wasn't like poking her or trying to bribe her into coming over there and set a trap or anything. He was just putting the offer out there. So I feel like a less aggressive response from her would have been something more along the lines of, hey, politely, I'd like to decline that. Don't feel comfortable going to your place for our first time meeting. And according to the comment section, he planned on offering an alternative because he understood why she wouldn't want to do that. But then things really start to pop off before he had the chance. So he says, I hope you have a great Christmas as well. To which she responds, Jdi du perdele zatratse. I'm 100% sure I butchered the pronunciation on that, but I popped it in a Google Translate here, and it translates to go to hell, get lost. And I decided to investigate further, damn near having to revive Babelfish to try and get like another translation, because that just sounded so incomprehensibly mean after all of this. But the other translation that I keep seeing for it is basically, fuck you. Which just doesn't make any sense to me, because the guy was just following the conversation they were having. They were both saying like, yeah, let's cook together. And then she even suggested baking, like, yeah, let's bake together. So he's like, all right, bet, let's do it. Let's cook and bake together. And then she just goes, fuck you, scumbag, get lost. So he tries to explain himself. He goes, for the record, it just seemed like a logical next step in the conversation because we were talking about cooking together. Sorry to offend or disappoint you, ma'am. And she just goes, go fuck yourself, dude. This time, plain English. So that one I understood. And then he just says, very weird response in my opinion. And then she unleashes the demon here. She lets Hulkmania run wild. You know exactly why you fucking invited me to your loft. And it wasn't for cooking. Don't text me ever again, blocked. And then he just goes, we met on Tinder, remember? Wish you the best in getting a date. I'll be warning all 30,000 women in blank about you. Now you're blocked. And he's just like, well, actually, wiggling his finger, blank has a population of 6.47 million, about half of which would be women. Warning 30,000 people about anything is an extremely tall order. You don't even get 30,000 people that heed hurricane warnings in Florida. If she's somehow able to send up the bat signal here to warn all 30,000 women in that immediate area about this guy, hats off to her. That's an incredible achievement, and she should use that power for good instead of evil. This guy didn't do anything wrong. He's clearly starting to take the piss here a little bit and just play around with it with that population remark. But I almost don't blame him because this is such an unbelievably hostile response to something that wasn't ever really meant in a disrespectful way, at least not from what I can see. She just immediately jumped to the conclusion that this guy is only looking to have sex with her. He's not actually inviting her over to cook. He is inviting her over to his place just for some coitus. There would be no steak being prepared. The only thing being steamed in that apartment would be ham. Steamed ham. I'm referring to them fucking. Like, that's such a stupid way of saying it. Mashing pissers, whatever have you. So she just believed that this guy was some huge asshole and was only using cooking as some kind of Trojan horse to get her over, but his true intentions were for a little bedroom rodeo action and nothing more. When really, to me, it really seems like they were talking about cooking and baking together. They were both on the same page. So when the idea of a date came up, which she proposed, the logical conclusion you draw is, hey, we've been talking about cooking and baking together, let's do that for our date. Like, it doesn't really seem like there was any kind of malicious intent behind it, and he never really had a chance to offer an alternative because she immediately just shut the whole thing down, which she has every right to do. There's nothing wrong with that, but it does seem like he wasn't trying to just be some douchebag or whatever. Like, it seemed like he was just offering a date that they had been talking about as a mutual interest. I'm sure he probably would have offered an alternative since she wasn't comfortable coming over to his place. He continues to just get a little sarcastic about things. He goes, please warn them about how a guy from Tinder invited you over to cook the day after Christmas. To which she says, dude, I'm in multiple groups totaling over 500,000. With your face, LMAO, you won't be getting no play unless you pay. Good riddance, roach. Honestly starting to sound like the Navy SEALs copy pasta. I've got over 500 confirmed blocks, and I will have your face plastered in the papers for 500,000 people to see. I'm part of every goddamn Facebook group on the East Coast, and they'll all know your name, villain. He just says, lol, roach. She continues, and I will! 2 exclamation points. It's like she's giving like a big speech in front of an auditorium. I'll let them know you tried to fucking invite me to your pathetic ass apartment for an easy lay masquerade as a cooking date. Yeah, we aren't stupid. Even your fucking hairline ran from you. Now sit back and enjoy being alone. And he just goes, I hope you find peace and love. Yeah, I mean, what else can you do except pray for happiness for her? Like, this went south so quick out of nowhere, and I don't think it needed to. They could have just said, like, not comfortable, are you open to anything else? And if he tried to be pushy about it, like, no, you have to come to my apartment, then all of this is a totally reasonable thing to say. Like, no, you clearly just want to fuck, get out of here, get lost, scram, Buster, you know, hit the road, take a hike. But she didn't even get that far. She immediately just jumped to this assumption that this guy is a piece of shit and he needs to go to hell and get lost. And now apparently she's going around putting up wanted posters like it's One Piece with a 5 billion berry bounty on this guy's head, all because he had the gall to invite her over for a cooking date that both of them were discussing together. I just don't really know how she'd even frame this as a bad guy to her 500,000 person group that she's a part of. I don't even know what group that would be. That's like a wildly large group to be a part of, and I can't imagine she has like a power position there where she can put out an APB on this guy or something. But even still, I don't really know how you could even spin this guy as a horrible person. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to cover this one. This one's different from the norm that we usually go over here, so. Long time. A text thread. This puppy is something Matt sent me this morning, and it's special. It is irresistible. I have to yap about it. A guy had been seeing a girl he matched with on Unhinged for like 2 weeks. They had only hung out a couple of times, but he wasn't really enjoying her company all that much, and instead of just ghosting her and disappearing, decided to just rip the band-aid off and put in his 2 weeks notice. You know, like, I'm resigning from this. We had some good times, but you know, we need to go our separate ways into the sunset here. And all hell broke loose. It was a pretty respectable message. Hey, I'm realizing we're not aligned in ways that matter to me. I'd rather be honest now than keep moving forward when I don't see it working out long term. Very concise, to the point, it's not rude, very simple. And man, that hit like the meteor to the dinosaurs here. Oh, well, okay. I hope you find what you're looking for, I guess. Me thinking I found my person and you don't even feel the same, LMAO. He just says, same to you. Now I'm sad. Block me. All because I want to tell you conspiracies, and I want kids. Now, you know me, I love conspiracies like Garfield loves lasagna, but there comes a point where it's just overwhelming. This individual here, she's not just wanting to tell him conspiracies, she is obsessed with conspiracies. She lives and breathes conspiracies out the wazoo. You're about to see just like a flood of unhinged, like, lore dumping. She starts trying to give this guy homework on conspiracies. She then gets into anime monologuing territory. It's also been 5 days and people change, life changes, circumstances change, but war never changes. And you know what else doesn't change? Once you reach a certain age, that is, your height. Isn't that a damn shame? I actually felt something with you, which isn't something that happens often, but you know what you want from your person, I guess? I don't know why I'm reading this like AI. It's first thing in the morning. Now we can actually fight. Thank God. It's about time we can actually fight. Woo! Yeah! What a weird thing to throw in there. That's what I get for liking a lib. I'm upset because what the fuck? Fix your feelings, I don't care. Men and their illusion of options. Yes, you see, there's only one option, and it's her. All roads lead back to this angel. I told you at dinner I like to talk out my ass when it comes to conspiracies. I thought I fell in love with you when I came over, and the entire time you didn't even want me there. That's delusion, and that's okay. God, that's like just scary, the fixation, like how quickly that can happen. I thought I fell in love with you when they've only hung out like a handful of times over the course of 2 weeks. Thank you for your time, LMAO. I am again done dating for a few months. Our week pictures. I can't quite make out what that's supposed to be. It looks like the inside of a dishwasher. I don't know if they shrunk themselves down on Miss Frizzle's school bus or something and took an adventure inside of a dishwasher, but that's what it looks like to me. I'm not really sure, but she sends like some pictures to commemorate the great times they had together. And now I have to take down and restart my hair, because why am I literally doing it pink like you wanted? And I have to kill you on Sims. That's one of those big red flags right there. There's a lot to unpack with just that one line. Now I have to kill you on Sims. That's that psycho shit, like ripping the wings off a butterfly. So, first of all, she made him in Sims, after barely knowing him. Kinda weird. Really odd. I guess she was like planning their lives together through Sims to see if it's something that she, is ready to, get ripping and roaring on. And now that it's gone south, she's going to have to execute and murder him on The Sims. I imagine there will be torture involved too. Just a hunch. Just a hunch. A girl that actually likes you is too much, LMAO. Anyways, I'll see you Saturday. I love that. After all this, it's like, okay, so now that you're done being stupid about this whole, like, we don't align type of thing, I'm gonna see you on Saturday, isn't that right? I will see you Saturday. Don't you forget it. I will see you Saturday. Yes, I killed you on The Sims, but I had to do what I had to do. It doesn't mean I don't want to see you on Saturday. We're still soulmates. We're meant to be together. You know that. I like you. You know that. And you don't have a choice. It's an illusion of options. First day you didn't see me in a row and I got my man taken. Well, man didn't get taken. Man just came to his senses. This is all very concerning stuff. Like, it is what it is. He was upfront with you about it. He didn't ghost you. And, man, I gotta tell you, I think overall this response to it is showing that maybe this just wasn't the right fit. Telling me to keep you just for you to leave. I'm sorry for blowing you up, but I'm just a deeply loyal person. I don't see what we don't agree on. And even then, why do we have to agree on everything? We're human with our own lifestyles and experiences. I'm so sad. While I'm sensitive and bleeding isn't nice, could have waited 2 days when I'm back to being myself. And then she puts a screenshot from another match she had on Hinge, where she's talking about the Mossad and the CIA, which I'm not really sure what that has to do with what's going on here, but she does provide it regardless, I guess, as like some parting ways reading to brush up on, if you want the real. This is why I hate liberal men, because why are you more sensitive than me? Well, I think him sending one message about like, hey, it's not working out, I don't really love us together, and then you having 45 messages over the course of like an hour and a half, it doesn't seem like he's more sensitive at all, actually. That's kind of a weird projection, to be honest. That's a bit of a reach. I'll give you one day of space. I'll see you tomorrow, caps locked. She's gonna be in like a fucking tree with binoculars looking at him, spying or something. Smiley face. Yeah, I don't care. You're either with me or we're together. Those are your only two options. Oh, fuck. About to kidnap him or something. It reminds me of that hat. You're either drinking 14 beers with me or you're drinking 14 beers against me. You're cute, smart, laugh at all my jokes, easy to talk to. I like your hands and your arms and your weird nerdiness. Okay, I have shit to do, but still, count your days. Literally one, but yeah. Okay, bye. Have a good day. And then she drops some more screenshots here. This one's about Jewish tradition and Jewish banking. So it's becoming a full-blown Twitter thread here. And it goes on for a little while. Then she starts sending these. All of this over the course of 2 minutes, so it's all saved to her phone. And I'm actually so fucking hilarious, and I wanted to cook for you and love you forever, blocking your blessings, and I give immaculate head. Shit, wait a minute. Hold on. We may have been too hasty here. That ought to make him rethink everything. We can now disregard the previous 66 messages that have come through here, and maybe we could at least reevaluate this relationship. That's quite the Hail Mary. And I'm a trust fund kid with VA benefits because both my parents are retired and on 100% disability. Lol, okay, I'm done now. Your loss for sure. What in tarnation? What kind of... What? I don't even know what to say about that section there. Have fun with bitches that don't like you and that aren't funny or pretty or won't want to do anything for you. I was OTP with my best friend. I don't know what OTP stands for. In League of Legends, that's one trick pony, but that doesn't really fit here. But whatever. I was OTP with my best friend, literally telling her how much I liked you when you sent that message. Because what the fuck? But I know we're never gonna see each other again, so it's all good, friend. I hope your date goes well. Actually, I hope she's ugly. And loves the white savior complex. I caught feelings way too fast. My fault for sure. I'm glad you feel safe. That's good. You could have warned me. Literally, if you haven't blocked me, I don't know. I'm gonna keep going until I feel better. I don't need a response or anything. I feel really defeated. But it could really just be me on my period. I was so ready to lock in. Actually, I did. See, this is why you always have multiple men. But I didn't want multiple, I wanted one. I want to be a stay-at-home mom in the woods with a garden and my bakery. But you don't have just one man. You just sent a screenshot like 10 minutes ago of you talking to another guy on Unhinged about Mossad. Like, what do you mean? You definitely are talking to multiple men. But I guess this was her favorite. You want to live in the city with no kids and be 50-50 with whomever. So I get that. But the last bitch you were with, you tricked for, and I didn't even want that. What does that mean, you tricked for? I'm not familiar. Like, what do you do? Hit it like a kickflip or something to impress her? I'm not positive. But, like, even she's confirming that they want, like, different things. Like, it should be, like, a really amicable split here. And I'm calling it a split, but they're not dating. They hardly know each other. They're just, like, a step above strangers. Didn't even give you anything. Or maybe you lied. I wanted a partnership. And you want... I don't even know, actually. It's okay. I'm too pretty to be doing this. Have a good day. Especially when we have everything in common. Do you have any friends that like Mario and being in love? Mario's like one of the most well-known property of all time. I bet he has tons of friends that like Mario. And as far as being in love goes, it's like a basic human desire that 99% of the world also feels and wants. So yeah, I would say... I don't know this guy, but I would say with high confidence he probably has a lot of friends that like Mario and being in love. Just a hunch. And like obsessive conspiracy theorists. Yeah, see, like conspiracy theory and yapping about it's like really entertaining and enjoyable, but when it becomes a full-blown obsession where it's like all you think about and all you talk about, it's no longer fun anymore. So like that's not a good thing. That's a negative. I do need a response, actually. You haven't blocked me. Why are you letting me still text you? Close the door and move forward with someone mediocre. That's more your speed. I'm just gonna say you have a shrimp dick and move on. I feel better now. Well, that's good. I'm happy to hear that. I'm glad they were both able to reach a point where they feel better about all of this. And then she comes back a few hours later. Hey, I just wanted to apologize. I'm not used to meeting good men, so I thought it was too good to be true, so I tried to scare you off. I realize I messed up, and if it's okay with you, I want another chance, even if we're just cool for now. If not, it's okay too. You're an amazing man, honestly. I know that's quite a cliffhanger to be left on, but according to the guy who posted this, he did end up blocking her after that apology. So it's seeming like they're not going to be seeing too much of each other anymore. Probably for the best. They don't seem super compatible. I am sure she will find someone that she can spit conspiracy theories back and forth on. Now is the perfect day and age for that. She could probably find 10,000 men through Twitter right now that would absolutely love her. This just wasn't, the right choice here. They weren't meant for each other, and that's okay. I don't think you need over 100 messages when A, you don't even know the person very well, you've only seen them like a couple of times, and B, it's just not that deep. Like, it's seriously just not that deep. Anyway, though, it's really bad.